Hello, and welcome back to the Harry Potter Book Podcast. We are currently getting things set up and ready to go for the commentary for the Harry Potter movie and everything. We got everything more or less taken care of. My wife will be joining us shortly. She's kind of occupied in the moment with taking care of some kid stuff, and we're already a little bit behind schedule with getting this going as it is. We might have to pause this and start this back up at a later point in time and everything, only doing partial due to the nature of the fact that we're currently on a tight schedule and all that other nonsense. So don't be too surprised if there's like a slight break or something along those lines midway through the movie, and we're a little off sync or something along those lines. Anyway, I do believe we have everything more or less set up. HBO Max has decided that it's going to start putting ads and stuff in front of everything, so we're not exactly able to synchronize the press play button very easily at the moment. So, are we okay to go?
Almost. Technical difficulties. Are these? That's not it, right?
HPCS.
That's what I thought. Do they have to be open or closed when syncing?
Usually, you just take them out.
Anyway, sorry about all this and stuff. We're currently paused right now at like the opening cinematic in order to go to the WB logo and stuff. If I recall correctly, one of the little fun things about these movies and stuff is that logo introduction gets a little bit darker and darker each time. Alright, you guys ready?
We finally got our headphones synced.
Hang on.
So we're just gotta
What's
line
the timestamp on yours?
We don't have a timestamp thing going on because as of right now, everything's kind of janked because of the HBO Max thing. So there really isn't an effective way to put a timestamp on here. We're going to start off...
I thought you were on HBO.
Yes.
Yeah, so
but there's...
am I.
Yeah.
He switched to DVD?
No.
You're still on HBO?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
We figured out.
There's
That's what I was trying to figure
a-
out what your
s-
timestamp there was, so I
Oh.
can figure out my timestamp
That's
here.
okay.
Okay.
We're at
34
34 seconds, technically. Because there's an ad at the front of it and everything, and I have no... Like, my phone didn't give me an ad, which is why I don't know what the timestamps are, because they're not 0000 like they should.
Oh, okay. That's annoying.
Yeah, I have to admit, the whole point of the streaming service was I didn't have to pay... I didn't have to worry about ads. That was the whole point of these things, and now that's
Now we have to have the ads at the beginning for
Yeah.
their own stuff. But okay.
Ready?
I think so.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So our audio is probably going to be a little unsynced and everything since we've got like 3 different buttons going off at the same time.
We're pretty close.
Hey, was that AOL Time Warner thing always there, or was that new?
No, I don't think so.
Wait, they've been editing these movies. Oh, that's just dandy.
Okay, pause for yours for like a second, and then unpause.
Unpause.
Play. I think that's closer.
All
Okay.
We're probably going to have a slight delay in our commentary and everything, if for no other reason than the fact that everything is going to be a little off.
How did we get it so perfect the first time?
I don't think we did. If I recall correctly, we were complaining about it. Or there was a slight problem partway through. Also,
We had a
that
good-
suburban area just goes on forever. It looks like every single house was just copy-pasted all the way back.
It might have been.
Was this in the actual book? The first book where he got photos and stuff?
Yeah, Hagrid
Yeah?
gave him the album at the end of book 1.
Yeah. Also,
Is that book ever actually mentioned again? Because I don't recall this happening in the opening of the book.
No, I don't think so. It's not mentioned specifically. He does... No, yes, it's mentioned in the third book. Because he goes back and looks at the pictures of their wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
where
then it's mentioned in book 5 when he's meeting people in the Order. Because, I recognize them from their wedding.
So rude. You only gave him the second bedroom because you were scared.
Bullshit. I have to admit, though, Mrs. Mason being deathly afraid of owls is such a weird phobia.
Birds.
I could have sworn it was owls specifically in the book.
I'm pretty sure in the book it specifically says birds.
I feel like we need the book, but I don't remember. It's either way, it's not mentioned in the movie.
Yeah,
It is
I think
in a
they
deleted
kind
scene,
of
though.
imply that the pudding itself was enough to put them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a deleted scene where she gets scared of the owl, I think.
Yeah. Because they mentioned deathly fear of either birds or owls. I do think it said owls specifically.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
I'm gonna go grab the book.
Hey, it's
And
the
find
character that got absolutely no respect in the actual movies outside of him suddenly randomly appearing in the last one.
He did a lot of work in the fourth.
Fourth book. Yeah, he was really active in the fourth book, and he was also active in 6, I want to recall correctly, as well.
It's kind of funny that they let Harry, all of Harry's Hogwarts stuff is on the walls and everything, but it was all locked up.
It was supposed to be, but I suppose the interior decorator, the set designers needed to do something,
Yeah, because his trunk's right there in his room, and it's supposed to be locked up in the cupboard under the stairs.
Well, yeah, the twins were originally supposed to get out and actually unlock everything.
Yeah,
in the
because they
actual book.
specifically said, watch this step, it squeaks.
Yeah. And Fred and George were like, we always think it's important to learn how to do things the Muggle way, in terms of, certain rule-breaking aspects, which is very respectable in my personal opinion. I have to admit, though, Dobby is really, really well,
The CGI
yeah,
is really good.
it's
Well, I
actually-
think he's a puppet sometimes, too.
it wouldn't
It's
surprise
good
me.
for its time.
That's fair.
To be fair, the Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest had, Davy Jones was really good as well.
Yeah,
True.
that's
It's
true.
only been very recently that CGI seems to have been dropping off of a cliff.
It's because they're being lazy and cheap. Also, the line is specifically, Mr. Mason stayed just long enough to tell the Dursleys that his wife was mortally afraid of birds of all shapes and sizes, and asked if it was their idea of a joke.
How would they even know? It's not exactly like they were in contact with each other before. They're trying to broker a business meeting, so it's like they would have had to really go out of their way in order to find out
This
she was
was
afraid of
pre-internet.
birds. Yeah.
I mean, exotic birds were a big thing, so I could only imagine that they had a dinner with someone who had an exotic bird, or even a parakeet or something, and word just spread oh, listen, if you're going to have a meeting with Mr. Mason, make sure any bird you have is not around. And so that could be why it might have been known.
True. I am curious about what his Japanese golfer joke is.
Oh, I know what the Japanese golfer joke is.
I've heard a Japanese golfer joke, but it doesn't mean it's his Japanese. He seems very... What's the word I'm looking for here?
Enthusiastic to tell this joke in front of his child.
That
When it's sexual in nature.
And honestly, I feel like if Vernon was going to tell any kind of joke, it'd end up being racist.
That sadly
That
checks
tracks.
out. I do have a really nice what-if story that would probably impact this at least a small smidge. What if Harry just flat out lied?
About what?
Lied to Dobby about not going back. Yeah, sure, no problem, Dobby. I'll stay here.
Valid. But also, Harry's too good for that. It kind of would destroy the whole he's a good kid because you have to think the target audience is children, and if your hero is going around lying like that, breaking promises, that's not a very good example in a children's book.
It's not like he doesn't, lie by omission, throughout the entire course of this book.
Yeah, but that's when you think you're going crazy. Also, I will admit that dessert looks delicious.
I mean, Petunia's got to be good at something. This looks more like a cake to me than a pudding.
Pudding is... It could have just been the pudding as in general term for dessert.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel that if Harry had stayed up in his room and everything and this happened and everything, they'd have a little bit less of an explanation.
Yeah, him following Dobby was stupid. And him...
Especially trying to grab it. If you're going to grab the damn thing, stop, like, trying to be quiet about it and just grab it at this point, you know?
Yeah, like, obviously it looks like he drops it on them.
To be fair, though, if Mr. Dursley was smart, he could... I feel like the whole my nephew's very troubled probably should have gotten him out of this, you know what I mean?
Wait, say that again? I was listening to the movie.
Fair enough. Him, like, saying, you know, his explanation for Harry, I feel like should have worked. And it's only because of the owl that it's a problem.
Right. Freaky friends.
Oh, man. If I recall correctly, they originally discussed who the house elf actually belonged to during the car ride and everything.
I think so. And they even said that it sounds like the thing Draco would do.
Kind of surprised Draco never thought of it. And considering I've been going back through, like, the Half-Blood Prince, Draco's surprisingly slick when it comes to, you know, planning things out and doing things when he's motivated.
He kind of prefers to do his own dirty work, it feels like, honestly.
In that one especially, I don't think he would have trusted Crabbe and Goyle to do, like, anything more than hold the flashlight, so to speak, if you're using a car analogy on that.
Oops, I can see that our sound is a little off now. At least for me and Brandy.
Mine's actually pretty synced up pretty well, actually.
Well, aren't you synced up to your headset? Or
No,
are you on
I
your
got it on my
too?
phone. I got mine on my phone as well.
Gotcha.
So we've got the main TV and both of us have phones going.
Gotcha.
Which is weird considering I had to pause to try and put it in sync with yours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he paused a second too long because we're a second ahead.
Are we a second ahead?
This is why we don't put,
Oh,
like,
yeah, we are.
half a bajillion locks on the outside of the door. Because now it's just impossible to get in.
Oh, I think we fixed it.
Oh, nice. Oh, man,
Yay, we fixed it. We're in sync. I did it.
I love the music so
This
much
is-
for this.
This is why I
These
put
first
it.
two movies.
I said let's do it on your phone because last time I messed it up.
Oh, and we had to do it several times.
Yeah, and then I kept accidentally tapping it, and I was like, I'm just not bothering with this today.
That's fair. I'm just glad... I do feel bad for whoever else was using my HBO account, who no longer can use it now.
Kicked him off. Watch it be Cameron.
I don't think so. He was watching YouTube.
Ah.
It's probably, honestly, it's probably JJ.
Do you feel that bad then?
A little bit.
A little.
If it wasn't JJ and it was a roommate of his, then I feel
But
less bad.
do you see how big this, like this
Neighborhood
suburban...
is?
Yeah, this is insane.
Yeah, it does seem like a sprawling... Even, like...
The
Just because we're used to living in Michigan, where there's a lot of trees and lakes interrupting our areas, I feel like a lot of places would have big...
I feel like this is the only movie we really get a good view of
The borough.
the borough. All the other ones, it's there, but there's just only a couple of scenes in them. Whereas this place, it feels so much more alive. Like, as much as Yates does a pretty good job, Columbus really does get the magic of the world. And I think this is the only time we see the Weasley clock.
I think so. I've never noticed that they were made out of scissors. Also, why is there a dentist?
No
Yeah,
idea.
that's one of
Because
those
they
little,
don't-
that's one of those movie, doesn't make sense sort of things. Because if I recall correctly, in this book alone, Hermione makes a mention of dentistry and stuff, and, like, Mr. Weasley's fascinated by it. Like, he's never been to a dentist before.
Yeah, because her parents are dentists.
Yeah.
I like how they hide the food.
Like, they're not in enough trouble.
Car gone. Could have been seen. She's got Hermione's priorities there.
Just a bit. No wonder he ended up marrying her.
Just like his mom.
You know, I'm really glad. that they didn't do method acting for Harry
I did notice
as a
that
child. That
Oh,
he doesn't
God.
look like he's starving. But they could have given him baggier clothes.
that might have been a legit reaction, to be perfectly honest.
Ginny's just shocked.
Oh,
Yeah, they could have given Harry baggier clothes.
I just realized I don't. Wait, no, Percy's in the scene. It's kind of sad though. He's been basically demoted to an extra in these movies, considering how important he is in certain books.
Look, man, do we really want more of Percy?
It's important to have him in there to kind of offset things.
Yeah.
The damage to a family doesn't necessarily come from people getting hurt or maimed or anything. Sometimes it could be differences of opinion, which in today's political climate, very appropriate. Wait a minute, I remember this guy. Wasn't he in a Doctor Who episode with dinosaurs?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, he was in an
Yep.
11th Doctor episode. He was Rory's dad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm trying to see him, but
Exactly.
I don't
It is
think
the
Percy's
function
of a
of
rubber
duck.
Ow.
Ron's just looking at Harry like, yeah, what is it?
It's just a,
There he is.
And
There's the Fort Anglia.
Thunk.
I'm glad they use a fake owl, because I would not be capable of
I'm gonna be honest. Percy looks like such a dork.
He's got bedhead.
He
I
is a
know.
dork.
But he also looks so gangly. Like, he looks like what I pictured Ron to look like.
I mean, fair. Backtracking a little bit, when Molly was actually scolding them, they did look like a couple of kids getting scolded. Like, yeah, I could see, like, the eyes bugging out of the twins' head in the background a little bit. I'm just sort of like, yep, this is what it looks like to be
Look, man,
scolded by your mother.
if she was berating me, I'd look guilty whether I did something wrong or not.
I did notice, though, that Ron gets to keep most of his lines when Hermione's not around.
Well, yeah.
The fact that Ron's, like, actively like, oh, Harry's never done this before.
Also, technically, he didn't have to go by himself.
Yeah.
He could have gone with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why they didn't just hold hands and then go together.
Oh, I mean, there's not enough room in the fireplace for everybody. But
There's enough
But
room for him and Ron.
Yeah.
yeah. To be fair, we have to get him into Borgin and Burks and stuff at some point, and this is like the only time that would really work in terms of the whole series.
Well, I know, but we're picking apart plot holes. You know, cinema sins and all.
It's one of those things you gotta learn eventually. Because you imagine doing this like with a baby, you gotta sit the baby down and be like, alright, say diagonally. Diagonally. Nocturnally. No, wait! Well, dear, I think we're never gonna see our baby again. I do love how he's got the Gryffindor crest on his robes already, even though it's not required.
Well, if he's gonna go in the wizarding world, he might as well. Look, man, he's gotta represent his house somehow.
You just got on my butt about picking and nitpicking and everything, and when I do it, then I'm the bad
You're
guy.
right, it does seem a little silly that he's wearing his robes to Diagon Alley, but...
Now, her overpronouncing that and everything is now put it that I keep miscorrectly saying it at this point.
Diagonally.
Oh man. Did we mention in the previous one where the apparently like the Hogwarts like house crest isn't actually supposed to be on your robe? It's just supposed to be black robes. You're not supposed
No,
to
I don't
have
think we
like
mentioned
any
it.
of the house colors or
This
anything.
scene, Harry, didn't they ever teach you look with your eyes, not your hands?
You'd think, especially with Petunia looking after him and everything.
She would have been smacking that hand.
Also,
All
that's
the
not
time.
how a hand of glory works.
It's a nice reference, but yeah, this thing is not this like that's not how this works.
Oh, and hey, he didn't even do it.
Do we
They skipped the Lucius scene.
Yep.
completely? How?
I don't remember them. I guess they didn't do it in the movie.
I could have sworn. No, it might have been a deleted scene where they cut it. I'm just sort of like, why would they?
Oh yeah,
cut-
wait. Did they just cut it? I don't think it was a deleted scene.
I don't remember seeing it.
Cause he's
Wait, you've never seen it?
Because Lucius
No.
snaps his cane on Draco's hand and tells him not to touch.
Yeah, Harry, I remember seeing it because Malfoy was getting like super close to where Harry was in the vanishing
using
cabinet.
my phone.
Maybe I have seen it. Well, we can always watch the deleted scenes after.
That's true. But, like, I could have sworn that was part of the actual movie.
Now, you say Lucius smacking Draco's hand. That does sound familiar.
Yeah, because
I don't remember it being...
Because he's...
I don't know if it was part of the movie or a deleted scene. Or, like, an... Yeah.
I mean, if you want, I can jump onto the computer real quick. I mean, my voice will still carry, hey! It's the star of the show because she's the favorite character for all the directors.
Yeah, I kind of need to know now, and it's gonna bother me. Also, she's not allowed to use magic.
Technically, they're in Nocturne Alley, so they can get away with shit. I mean, Diagon Alley with all the wizards and shit around, you could get away with it. Just like when you're in a wizard home and stuff, technically kids can cast magic without being detected.
She did say that,
But
she did fix his glasses in the book, didn't she?
I don't think so. No. Arthur does.
Ah.
Because
There she goes, stealing everybody's shit again.
I think. Hang on, we got the book.
Try not to get too distracted.
I won't get too distracted.
Oh, it's the star of the movie! Everybody's favorite character. Dude, this dude knocks this out of the park. That was originally in the house when they were doing the denoming and everything, which was completely cut as well.
Yeah, the denoming. I think that's a deleted scene, though, isn't it? Maybe not. Let's see. Who... fixes the glasses? Mr. Weasley took Harry's glasses, gave him a tap of his wand.
Okay, it was.
But yeah, no, I think that even though technically magic's more okay, they're still not allowed to cast spells. Like, it's still... Because you can't do it at home either. Because remember, in the 5th book, the twins go crazy casting spells because they can, because they turn 17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so apparently, depending on where you've actually watched this, it varies.
Okay.
So apparently, like, some people remember seeing it while watching the ABC version of the actual show. Some people said that they had it on VHS and that it was actually in the movie as well.
Okay.
So it wouldn't surprise me if, depending on which form of the actual, where you watched the movie at.
Draco just ripped a page out, and I'm curious on what book he was holding. Because if we were more inclined, we could have zoomed in on it.
I don't think we've got... I don't know if that... We could probably do that on my computer. I don't think I can do that on my TV.
That's fair.
But, yeah.
But yeah, so I remember very specifically seeing the scene where...
It wouldn't surprise me too much if, like, certain DVDs had, like, an ability to add in the deleted scenes and stuff as well. So that could also technically throw a person off. Lucius gets really handsy in this movie.
Right, like, creepy.
Also, poor Arthur has just been completely cut from this whole entire thing. Like, they got into a full-on fist fight in the book. And the fact that they don't even touch on that. Because I think Hermione's parents are supposed to be in this scene as well.
I never caught that. Lucius went, "You must be Miss Granger,"
And
glances at
Draco confirms it.
And Draco confirms it by sneering.
He nods his head, too.
Oh, I didn't catch the nod, but I saw the lip move.
He nods and then sneers.
It's wild that they have so much, like... They're like two peas in a pod in the movies.
Right.
Like, he still treats Draco a little bit like a shit and everything, but... Oh.
My question is, like, he slips the diary in, obviously, but, like, where did he pull it out? Like,
Let's watch
one
him.
hand's holding his cane.
No, he's got the cane hooked onto his arm.
Does he?
Yeah. I can see it overhanging the arm that's kind of bent a little bit. So he's got one hand on the book, he's got, like, his cane on his arm and everything, so let's see if we actually see where he pulled it out.
His hands just went down, and you can see his shoulders kind of shifting a little bit. But the camera's up.
Yeah, well, they don't want to make it too obvious, but they do show, the little cut to him putting the book back.
Yeah. Let's see if we see it.
Which, there should be some muggles in this scene.
There it is.
If there's the diary. And Harry notices it immediately as well. the fact that he doesn't remember this for the rest of the freaking
Yeah.
movie up
Or
until
doesn't
the
think
end.
to be like, hey, he did something. Maybe he's trying to accuse you of stealing. Like, you should have checked it right there.
Right there is your answer. That's a great what if right there. Like, you know.
What if Harry said something?
Yeah, what if Harry's like, hey, are you trying to get Ginny in trouble? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, and then Harry pulls out the diary and everything and just sort of like, dude, you trying to get her arrested or something? And just sort of like glances at the book and be like, this is really old, actually. Like, are you trying to pawn your shit off on us or something? And then, oh boy, we could have a whole freaking little smorgasbord of problems. Here's another one. What if Harry and Ron went into the trolley first instead of everybody else waiting last? That's wild that they didn't wait until all of the kids got through. As a parent,
yeah.
I would have, at least one parent should have hung back.
One parent goes
One
to the
parent should
front,
have been last.
and one parent at the end to make sure that everyone gets through.
Also, man, you're really spoiling our next episode of our What If by putting it all now.
Well, no.
We're not going to go through every little thing.
Yeah,
I know.
No. I'm trying to find something that's got some material to it that might make some serious changes.
That's fair.
Oh, little fun fact. Playing the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets Game Boy Color game, you actually, after you walk away from this point, you can see Dobby peek around the corner in the background and everything.
Oh, nice.
And make a comment about Harry will be safe now.
Huh.
It gives it away a little bit. But the actual video game definitely goes a lot
Also,
more
how
closer to the books.
Would they think that nobody would have seen that? Like,
If I recall correctly, they hit the invisibility thing before they took off.
I think so, but like, man.
In the movie, they make it a heck of a lot more obvious that why they get caught. Sometimes I swear the characters lose and gain brain cells based off the plot.
I mean, yeah.
Hedwig's just glancing around in the back.
Really? Really, guys?
Stink eye.
She also looks like she's tired and ready for a nap because it's the middle of the day. She's up in the sky and she's like, I should be sleeping.
I mean, I gotta be honest, having an owl as your, like, host system does seem kind of backwards, considering they usually are nocturnal creatures. You think, like, birds that were a little bit more common in Britain would probably make a little bit more sense, because I don't think snowy owls are known to be in Britain.
So obviously the conductor saw them, right?
You hope.
I decided just to continue charging forward instead of hitting the brakes.
A train can't stop on a dime.
I didn't say it needed to stop on a dime. I'm surprised it didn't try to slow down rather than ramming into the car floating in
That
front
is
of it.
true, because technically the only reason they would have been blowing their whistle was to clear the lane, to clear the line. Because that's why you hear a train before they get to, like, a crossing
The railroad
stop.
crossing to
It's
warn
'cause it's
them.
to warn you, train's coming.
Get off the tracks.
We really have to go out of our way to stretch an action scenes out of this movie, because, like, seriously, what kind of Harry Potter movie would have Harry die in the first, like, what, 5 minutes? 20?
Yeah, but think of how many more scenes we could have added if we didn't have to kill Harry in the first, right here.
It'll be Ron
What are all
Weasley and the
those
dead
random
best friend.
packages in the back
Of the train?
of the car.
Oh, of their car?
I would have parked the car on top of the train if they got this damn close.
That would have been smart.
Yeah, why not? Jump into the back and be like, I have no idea how the Ford Anglia got here.
We were just sitting waiting for our parents.
Play dumb and deny,
And then
deny,
we were-
deny.
Look, man, they're not very bright.
It's so beautiful. Some of the cinematography for these first couple of movies are amazing. And now we're gonna run into the frickin'
Snowy owls are not in England. They're in Scandinavia, but not in England or
Would
Ireland.
be
They're
very
not even in the.
uncommon.
Go down! Find a good place to land!
I don't
Seriously.
think they're even in North America, are they?
Not sure.
Yes, they
Oh,
are.
they are. Okay.
Canada and like the very top edge of
And
the
Michigan.
America. Yeah,
Yeah.
only the UP.
In Wisconsin, it looks like.
Yeah,
I now know
Like,
where I'm gonna retire. And
the
go
northeastern
birdwatching.
states, and then like the very top of our like where it touches Canada.
Makes sense.
Of all the trees we'd have to hit, why did we have to hit land on the one that hits back?
He said 2 minutes early.
It's wild how important Ron breaking his wand. Harry's got his priorities, just be thankful it's not your neck. Ironically enough, everybody who ends up breaking their wands, with the minor exception of Harry, it happens, and it's a good thing, because they actually get, like, a real wand, because that's Percy's old wand. Neville loses his dad's wand originally before getting his own.
Yeah, in the 5th book.
Yeah, Harry's the only one who gets his wand broken, and it's an actual inconvenience for him.
Right. See, here's my problem. That's a shitty willow tree.
It's a whomping willow, not a willow tree. There's a difference.
He's got you there.
Fair, but also the way that it's described in the book is more that it's like the hanging branches of the willow whip at you. For the most part.
I mean, it still was capable of beating up a car, so, you know. There's got to be something lumpy on it.
Fuck you, get out.
If I recall correctly, Hedwig was very annoyed with Harry for a while after this. Nice catch, though. I don't think he ever actually had a cage for Scabbers in the book. He usually just carried it around in his pocket.
Also, damn, Hagrid's gonna have a good time getting those skid marks out of the lawn.
Jesus, blimey, where do those car tracks come from? And why are they going off into the Forbidden Forest? I think you got bad news for you, dude. It gets a lot worse than that. If I recall, though, Hedwig just flaps off. They don't actually keep her in the cage.
Well, yeah, it bursts open.
Yeah, well, they let her out while they were flying.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Stretch her wings because she'd been cooped up all summer.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was in the beginning of the book when they rescued him. Is when they mentioned that.
I feel like they still let her out while they were
Hey,
in school.
it's Filch.
But he's not who catches them in the book.
No, it's Snape. They were leaking. They were
and they
peeking
weren't even
in.
inside yet. They
Yeah.
were looking in through the windows.
Wondering why you. If you actually notice, they do fly past the Great Hall in the vehicle in this one.
Yeah.
So everybody got a nice, good view of Harry and Ron's car.
There's Snape. Oh,
The late great.
Rickman. Rip. Maybe 7 years before you were born?
Yeah.
Okay, but still before they were born.
Give or take.
Not exactly. It's not nearly as impressive as he's trying to make it out to be. To be fair, if Harry was in your house, he'd probably be on the train the next day after he got sorted.
Fair.
Dumbledore.
Man.
McGonagall. I'm so sad.
I think almost everybody in this scene is dead except for Filch and the boys.
Yeah.
Well, that's half the scene. I'm sure the cat hasn't made it either.
I mean, I don't know if it's a real cat or not, to be honest.
Well, if it is a real cat, it's almost definitely dead. With how old this movie is.
I mean, you'd be surprised. My mom's got a cat that I remember we had around the house back when I was in high school, late at the earliest.
That cat would have
It's
to be
still alive.
That cat would have to be 22 years old.
Yes! It's still alive!
Yeah, we figured it out. The cat's like 20 to 23 or something.
Some cats, they do not go easy
True.
into the night. Oh, man. They combine a couple of things in this whole thing. Though, to be honest, I don't really mind skipping over the Death Day party. It was kind of a boring scene, and I felt bad for poor Nick in that.
You know, Hogwarts has changed a lot since Hogwarts Legacy. It's not what the greenhouses look like anymore.
I mean, to be fair, it was like, I think technically speaking, Legacy takes like 100 years or so.
Several hundred years.
I thought it was only 100.
Several hundred.
Okay.
Because cars don't exist yet.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, you got the iPad right in front of you, babe, if you want to see what time Legacy takes place. To be fair,
Poor
it's
Brandy,
definitely...
she's just trying to make some socks.
This is what I do. I look things up.
We love you.
I feel like the Lannister. I drink and I know things. The video game's story occurs in 1890. 100 years
Okay, so
before
I guess it is
Harry
100
arrives
years.
at Hogwarts.
Yeah. You got it.
That's what she said.
2 years before the first four-wheeled car in England.
Okay.
Amazing how much changes in 100 years, huh?
Yeah, I forget how time is stupid.
I mean, if you really think about it, it's been like what 80 years since like the civil rights movements and stuff, basically.
Not only that, but I saw a post.
Jeez.
If you go back far enough in time, a samurai, Cleopatra, some famous pirate.
Not Cleopatra.
Four famous people that seem like they're from totally different timelines
Yeah, you
are
could
all
have,
alive at the
you
same
could
time.
accurately have a samurai, a cowboy, a French revolutionist, I think it was, and an English gentleman.
Yeah, like they don't seem like they should be in the same.
But you can have all of those at the same time.
It's really weird. Honestly, though, I don't think Nick gets any more scenes outside of this. Because I don't recall him getting any dialogue after the second.
I don't think they show us him getting paralyzed in this either, do they?
Yeah, they show that in this
they do?
movie. Colin also doesn't get nearly as much screen time as he does in the book. He was a lot more annoying in the book. He's not so bad in the movie. I don't recall him being important past this movie
Ready
either.
the chips. Oh, sorry, the crisps.
Oh, we missed the Mandrake scene with Draco. Where he's playing with the Mandrake and he gets his finger bit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think I saw it.
Well, we
I
didn't
looked at the
comment
right
on
time. You think Draco would know better?
No, he insults a hippogriff in the next movie. He doesn't know shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
It's supposed to sizzle and smoke as well.
Because in the book he doesn't open it quickly enough, but in this one he
Dad,
does.
you stealing that. Also, I'm pretty sure didn't he run out of the Grey Hall to open it and it was still heard?
Yeah.
Who did?
Ron took this out of the Grey Hall and you could still hear it.
Another toe out of line.
Yeah. Rupert Grint did himself no favors by having some of the funniest facial expressions.
Here's the thing. This is 10 times better because you gotta imagine, as an actor, he has to have that all timed perfectly because there's nothing in front of him.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they recorded her voice to some degree, so that way he had something to work off of.
But he also, backed up when it blew a raspberry at him.
Yeah. It's the man, the myth, the legend. Didn't he go on to direct a movie with a thunder god in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yes. Oh God. A picture of himself painting a picture of himself, smiling at himself.
Oh, good.
God, this dude is in love with himself.
Just a little bit.
If he was actually half as good as he claimed he was, this could actually be considered charming in a sense. Come on, that'd be far. That'd be a nice icebreaker. What?
He directed Wild Wild West.
I mean, to be honest, that wasn't really a great movie.
No, Harry did not
Excuse the heck out of you, Ron.
Ron did not run out of the Great Hall with his howler. I think that's later. Neville runs out
Oh, no,
of...
he acted in Wild Wild West.
I mean, it's a guilty pleasure.
I've never seen it.
Let's just say the person who was trying to get that movie made had a really weird fetish for giant spiders.
I've seen clips. I recall that, but Will Smith was in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he turned down The Matrix for that movie, I think.
what a miss on that end.
Was it though? Because Keanu Reeves.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
I didn't say it didn't work out for Keanu Reeves. I'm saying it didn't work out for Will Smith.
Oh,
Oh
fair.
my gosh.
God, that'd be so painful getting pulled up by your ears.
That would be insanely painful. Gilderoy Lockhart, going back to Wild Wild West, he played the guy that plays opposite of Will Smith. I forget his character's name, but he plays like this.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's weird.
Like the more straight-laced of the two.
Yeah,
It's so that's so
he
wild.
was very by the books in that one as well. So he's got some damn range if he's capable of being the straight man and the comedy man. Give me back my photo. Give me back my photo. I love how the photos are responding to this.
I've also seen him in I don't remember which play, but in a production that was like a movie production of one of Shakespeare's plays.
Oh, just look IDBM at this point.
I prefer Wikipedia, but yeah.
The CGI in on these pixies isn't as great though. They look very not there. It's a bummer we don't get to see any scenes with the squid in it.
I bet you did, Wood.
That's what she said.
He played in Henry V, Hamlet, Midsummer's Night's Dream, Much Ado About Nothing.
Well, but I was a movie version.
Oh, it was a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've got a note.
Film.
It makes me think
V,
of Parks and Rec. Ron
Much
Swanson.
Ado About Nothing.
Oh, you have a note? What is it? This note just says you can do what you want.
Pretty much. To be perfectly honest, this is annoying. You'd think this would be Madame Hooch's area of expertise.
Yeah.
And that he should not, like, Snape should not be able to override another teacher like this.
Yeah, not unless it's like... Also, this scene is supposed to take place on the Quidditch field.
I guess they figured they didn't want to go through all the hassle of, re-putting together that one. Oh, wait, they end up using it later on, so yeah, there isn't much of an excuse as to why. I feel like that nickname should have popped up sooner.
Harry, reacted to that, but, he doesn't know what it means.
To be fair...
He did just know that it meant something insulting.
Yeah, even in the book, he's just sort of she said something, and based off everybody else's reactions, it was not good.
Also, poor Ron having to hold slugs in his mouth to do this scene.
He did? I could have sworn he had
Not
some...
live slugs, obviously.
He
had to have something. They were gummy, I think, right?
Yeah, he actually said they tasted really good, actually.
Oh, okay. But still,
He's an amazing actor, though. Rupert Grint is already pretty damn good, all things considered.
Brandy, did you ever find what I was talking about?
For Gilderoy Lockhart with the theater movie, there was Henry V and Much Ado About Nothing.
Much Ado About Nothing, that was the one.
Yeah. Ugh.
You couldn't take him to Madame Pomfrey? Jeez.
Much to do about nothing.
Isn't that what hey, that's just Ryan from Shrek.
What?
Better out than in, I always say.
Is it a line from Shrek?
Yeah, Hagrid just said it as well. I don't understand why they couldn't have let Ron explain this. I don't... It's his go-to excuse is, well, Hermione might have read it in a book and everything, and I'm like, what, is there a book about slurs or something somewhere in Hogwarts?
Probably.
I don't think
we have books about it.
Yeah, they're not going to be in the school library, though.
No, they're getting banned now, don't you know?
No, everything's getting banned.
Harry Potter's getting banned.
When isn't Harry Potter getting banned?
Hunger Games is getting banned. Twilight's getting banned.
I mean, have you read it?
Unfortunately. It's a rather shame our country's going to the fucking dogs. And that's insulting to the dogs.
She has... I don't know if it's because of the lighting or not, but her eyes look like they're ready to water and stuff. So it does kind of look like...
No, they were kind of watering.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my god.
I would rather do what Ron was doing and scrub the trophies.
Even if I'm accidentally puking on them?
Yeah, he asked to, too. He's like, please, and she's like, sorry. Gilderoy asked for you himself.
I feel like... I don't know if I'd be okay with that as a teacher. Even if Harry needs to get punished, the idea that Gilderoy's taking over it is kind of concerning. Especially how they treat him later in the movies and the books and the movies. It's kind of like, you know what?
Right.
Oh, I just got a perfect what-if story. What if Gilderoy Lockhart was actually a good wizard? Like, he shows up and stuff along those lines, and he actually kind of does his job, but ends up dying partway through, like, at the end.
What if he actually found the Chamber of Secrets?
I like the grand story, though. The idea of what if Gilderoy Lockhart was as good as he claimed? It's just like an overall thing, and how that would necessarily impact the actual story if they had a defense against the Dark Arts teacher that actually knew his stuff. Similar to Lupin.
Ginny would have died. Because he wouldn't have let Harry and Ron go with him into the Chamber of Secrets.
Why not? Ron got in.
What? No, if Lockhart wouldn't have let Harry come. He would have been like, no, you guys have to stay, I'll go fight the Basilisk myself.
Well, I did say the idea that he died or something, so...
That's true.
He goes in there, Harry and Ron wait a little while, he dies, and then they go in after him and actually finish the story properly.
But no, he still would have needed Harry anyway to open up the second door.
Ron didn't, though. So, as long as he's capable...
Ron learned it later.
I love the explanation. Ron explaining how Ron figured out. It's like, Harry talks in his sleep. That's something you would not find out about yourself until you had a significant other. Unless
Which you do. You legit talk in your sleep.
Quiet. You were supposed to be talking about Harry Potter.
You reminded me.
Yeah. Apparently it's nothing like you can understand.
Oh,
but...
no.
Also, that's not the face of
You
somebody
spoke a
who's
full
terrified
sentence
of
the other night.
spiders.
Wait,
I meant
really?
It was last night or the other night. I meant to tell you. You spoke a full sentence.
I was going to say, that was not the face of somebody who was terrified of spiders. Because he
Yeah.
wasn't, like, backing away or anything. He's just like, I don't like spiders.
He gets better at it later.
He also doesn't get made fun of it for it.
I mean, to be fair, teasing a person for their phobia is not really a cool thing to do.
Yeah, but Hermione laughs at him. And then he explains it.
Well, to be fair, the movies do sand down the rougher edges of Harry and Hermione over the course of this.
I mean, we can't have them being jerks.
Harry's got one hell of a mean inner, like, description thing and stuff, you know what I mean?
At least Percy was on guard. Colin was about to take a picture, and he just puts his hand over and puts the camera down.
I think this is the last movie where Filch actually is treated like a threat at all.
My cat.
I better see some punishment. They completely cut out the squib scene, basically, as well. I remember as a kid watching this, and, like, Filch legitimately...
He's scary.
Yeah. And then, like, after this, he's got, like, there's nothing he can really do to inspire fear.
Also, this was Halloween. They skipped the death day.
Completely. I mean, to be honest, like, fusing it with his detention with Gilderoy Lockhart and everything kind of makes sense.
It's a good time saver.
Yeah. This is one of those little things where it's like, because it's a movie and everything, I understand. What Dumbledore gave him. He was like, you want to try that again?
You hired him.
Yeah, I think, I'm convinced he hired him intentionally to teach Harry how to be humble, to show how much of a brat you could be if you decide to sniff your own farts.
That's bad policy for schools. Hiring teachers based on one student.
Are you kidding me? They're probably just happy that they got somebody to take the job, because I think
Hagrid says
he was the only one for the job. Ron just silently nodding along.
Fair enough.
Some punishment!
As much as I don't like him as a person, I do empathize with him. That's like the only thing he cares about is
his
that
cat.
cat. And to have that poor thing strung up like that, you know, even if the cat is a nuisance to the students and the faculty on a regular basis.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, I'd want to see some punishment if somebody hurt my fucking cat.
There would be some punishment if somebody hurt my cat.
I'd throw hands.
I'd be throwing a dead
things.
body.
That too.
I think
somebody at work once asked me, like, if you had to choose between 100 random strangers to die or your cat, I'd be like,
Strangers.
I'd pick my cat to live. Thanks. She's like,
Oh,
you're
I thought
crazy.
I thought the question was going to be which one is going to let die.
Yeah, I would let the strangers die.
Strangers.
And she's like, but those are here. I'm like, those are people I don't know. There could be criminals in that batch,
Yep.
and I know my cat, and I love my cat. Give a fuck.
Quiet, you random photo. I feel like that photo would have told Dumbledore what's going on to some degree. Some of the little comedy bits kind of don't make sense when you realize Dumbledore keeps an eye on everything in his school using the photos and shit.
And probably the reason he knows everything is because of his chocolate frogs. That's why he doesn't want his face taken off the chocolate frogs to lose his information. See, he's the only one who's using his own pet.
That's a human being, so it makes it even worse.
It does.
Not really. Peter's an asshole. He deserves this.
I mean, that's a pretty good attempt with a broken wand.
Yeah,
On an animagus, not an actual rat.
The tail keeps moving. It's still kind of funny. Oh, this was originally in Professor Bin's house.
Mm-hmm.
Who is cut from the movies.
Entirely.
Hopefully
To be
he's
fair,
hopefully he's
having
in
a
the TV
ghost
show.
teacher seems like a really dumb idea. We should definitely have given him an actual flesh and blood person. Also, is this Care of Magical Creatures classroom? Because there's a lot of animals in here.
No, it's so they're normal animals, though. It's so they can transfigure them. What if a student accidentally kills one? What if you turn it into a glass and break it? There's a lot of ethics questions here. There's some other fucking lemurs back there.
That's why I said Care of Magical Creatures. I was like, there's some things in here that they probably won't be using too much.
Well, I mean, she probably has some from other... there's different difficulties. Hermione's gonna blow through hers in a minute. She's gonna have a whole collection of goblets. Man, I never realized how much shade Draco throws at Hermione in this movie.
Well, in the book, he made it abundantly clear he'd be the top of his classes and stuff if it weren't for Hermione. So yeah, I'd be throwing some shade too if somebody was at the top spot and it wasn't me.
Oh, dang it. Brandy, I made a mistake in my blanket.
Oh no.
It's fine. Because it's not like I missed a gap, but...
Oh no.
Mitch is looking like, what mistake?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Look, I may be a Slytherin, but it doesn't mean I'm a racist.
To be fair, though, I will never complain about Maggie Smith getting more lines.
Oh, never.
There's a couple of actors and actresses I wish had done, like, readings of at least a couple of the books. And, I'm gonna be honest with you, Maggie Smith's doing a reading of the Harry Potter series, totally be listening to that.
Heck yeah.
Too bad we'll never get it.
Well,
Look, if you keep
listen,
bringing this up, I'm gonna end up
AI
crying, dang it.
has allowed Randy Travis to sing again. Okay?
That's fair. I think that would be the only time that AI would be acceptable.
Yes.
With permission from their family or in a will to bring back voices that we've lost. However, if this person is alive and well, you should not be using AI for their voices.
Without the permission.
I like how Malfoy
So Randy
walks.
Travis is a country singer who had a stroke and can't sing.
Okay.
So that's why they were doing that.
That makes
It's really
sense.
weird that Malfoy, after saying that line, "You'll be next, Mudbloods," isn't number one on everybody's suspect list.
Right?
There was an audience around him and everything.
Yeah. Everyone's like immediately like, Harry must have been the... but not Draco.
The gnome purebloodist. Okay, we got breaking into the getting a book that you're not supposed to get. That's one rule.
Oh, this book's not in. It's not in the restricted section.
Yeah, that's weird. To be fair, I think it's at least talked about in one of the class books for like year 6 or something along those lines. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was more easily available. But breaking into the restricted section and getting a book you're not supposed to, that 2 rules. Stealing potion ingredients, if we counted each one as a different one.
But they never stole the book.
Yeah, but they didn't get it under honest means.
But they did. They got a note from their professor. It's just they lied about why they were getting it.
I still consider it lying at the very least.
It's not their fault that he's incompetent.
Dun, 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 dun. One of my favorite subplots that gets dropped horribly from the entire movie series. I don't even think it gets picked up.
Quidditch?
Yeah. I honestly feel like they could have a lot of freaking fun with this. If the Quidditch scenes are not, like, top-notch in the upcoming movie, then why are we even bothering?
You mean the show?
Yeah. Because you can make this sport so much more faster, so much more intense, so much more quick and everything in terms of people scoring and moving and stuff. Not with the CG having developed almost 20 years later, you know?
I feel like it should be illegal to tackle a keeper.
It is. The movies get away with a lot more shit that would be flagged in the actual books.
That's true.
They use a bludger
like this
and
right
hit
here.
a
Also, what the fuck is Draco doing?
His best.
Is he?
I mean, yeah.
Dude, he just took a swing in his beater's bat at another person, just straight up taking somebody's head off. That would have been that could have potentially gotten you kicked out of the match.
Maybe.
No, they had penalty shots in the book because they kept fouling Harry during, I think, book 3 because he was trying to get the snitch to win the game at a certain point.
Oh yeah.
Poor Wood.
Smashed his broom, and I bet the school's not going to replace it.
Well, to be fair, Harry had to buy, was going to buy his own afterwards as well.
That's fair.
Time out, anyone?
I love how confidently he says it. I'll stop it.
He sounds so defeated. He looks so sad.
Even with a proper
Jesus. This thing is going through 2x4s and shit like nobody's fucking business. This thing is so much more hostile and dangerous in the movie.
Ooh, that was...
Yeah, that was really bad.
Buffering leg there.
That was really bad. Trying out for the ballet, Potter.
The ballet.
Flint was pissed. You had the freaking snitch floating next to your damn ear and you didn't catch it.
And he's like, oh shit. See, and they spend a little bit more time on the Quidditch match than they probably needed to.
It's still thoroughly shortened down from the actual book, though.
That's probably true.
Though they do get to have a little bit more fun because it's basically a nice chase scene, basically in here. Now, if only Harry could aim that damn bludger properly and have it nail Malfoy in the back of the head.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, it is working like a blue shell in Mario Kart right now. It hits whoever's in the way.
Shit.
Poor Colin.
Oh, jeez.
You think that when the bludger starts running into non-combatants, that they do something about it?
No.
Like, this bludger is so freaking bad and everything that I feel like any reasonable person would have, said something at this point.
Right. But they didn't.
I don't think Malfoy takes a spill in the book either.
Disappointing.
All right, there, elf.
Oh, there goes the harm.
How strong is his gear that it's capable of holding up against that? Like, that thing was going through 2x4s like tissue paper and everything.
His arm should have been off his body, obliterated completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have, like, that should have been paced with the way that Bludger's been portrayed as. I don't care if he's injured, so long as he catches the snitch on the way down. McGonagall making a comment about my concern about winning the match than my player's safety. No,
know what?
McGonagall's got a
what happened
point.
right there. Almost ended the cursed child before it began. Right between the legs.
To be fair, the twins actually wrestle the thing back into the container originally. It doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna hurt a lot.
I love the little
that Ron and
expression.
Hagrid share.
This is like, this is not going down well.
Yes, that can happen. Point is, the bones are no longer. Oh,
He's got no,
no
bones
bones
left.
left.
Oh, the sound
wonder-
in the headphones
hate
is
it.
worse.
Love Pat Pomfrey.
Malfoy's over here milking it for all it's worth.
Such a drama queen.
Yeah.
What did you expect?
Pumpkin
Pumpkin
juice?
juice?
You know, I have to say, pumpkin juice sounds nasty.
I've actually had the version of pumpkin juice that they actually have sold, and it did not taste very good either.
Well,
I
I mean,
wouldn't
just
mind
think
it.
about pumpkin. Like, pumpkin pie is good, but I wouldn't want it as a drink.
If it tasted like pumpkin pie, I would love it as a drink. It does not taste anything like pumpkin pie, though. Jesus. That'd be a jump scare. Harry's a lot more violent in this scene than he is in this movie.
In the book, you mean?
Yeah.
He is. He goes to throttle him.
Yeah. He does end up grabbing him and stuff, but you don't really see any maliciousness in Harry, even if he's threatening to throttle him. In the book, I legitimately believe Harry was ready to go.
Your
Or
bludger.
bludger.
I mean, I don't really
know
see
why
much
he
of a
had to
difference.
Punish himself for that because it's not like he wasn't ordered not to fuck with Harry.
I mean, fair, but I feel like Dobby felt guilty for what he was trying to do.
That's fair. Also, God, I've burnt my hand on an iron before.
No, seriously. Ninja. Maim.
It's a mark of a house elf. Already happening. You know, I'm surprised that your daughter is actually not bugged us at all.
She's watching her own movie,
Oh, really?
What's she watching?
Sonic.
Of course. Again.
Gotta go fast. Bye.
Some people who are better at discovering and talking about acting and stuff could probably say that Daniel Radcliffe's not really doing too hot, but I gotta be honest, for the material and his age, I feel like he's doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
He's 12, man.
Well, nah, I just remember some people talking about it in some of the other videos and stuff that I watch, where they give him a lot of grief.
Yeah, people gave the kid in fucking Star Wars a lot of grief, too.
That was just plain bullying at that point, from what I heard.
That was a child.
That feels like a very old camera, even for the 90s.
It might be, but the newer the technology, the less likely it is to work at Hogwarts.
Fair.
Who's to say he didn't come from a older family that, or just like a camera enthusiast?
Fair.
Yeah, in the books they were in a stall.
Yeah. It's weird to see them so casually hanging out.
Yeah.
Ron's like leaning up against the side. Harry's sitting on the ground with his
They
arms
both
on
got
his
their arms, their
Yeah.
sleeves. Q, the 35-year-old, 11-year-old. Well, not 11. She was how old when she died? 13?
14 or 15, 14?
14?
Something like that?
I can't unsee it, though.
Daniel Radcliffe in a wig.
Yeah.
A little.
Hermione has like no problems just because she was so uncomfortable around Moaning Myrtle during most of her scenes and stuff. And this one, she's so matter of fact about it and everything. It's kind of funny. I gotta be honest, I love
His
the shirt
outfit?
combo. Yes.
His-
Like, say what you want about
He's
them.
got a fencing vest on.
He's like, this man's like style is on point in these movies. Like, describing it in the
He's
books.
fabulous.
Describing it in the books, I'm like, oh, never would get caught.
Oh my
dead wearing
God.
that. What?
His vest is embroidered with a G, and I'm pretty sure an L.
Of course.
Oh God.
I never caught that.
He's got like the one glove on and everything. I have to admit, I like the look. He looks good.
He's very dapper.
Compared to Snape, all in black.
Look at the distinguished gentleman.
You'll still have your potions master when I'm through.
See, okay. The camera, when it was panned away, look, he has a holster for his wand. Why is this not common practice?
I mean, to be fair,
Harry's
wands,
constantly sticking it in the back pocket of his jeans.
And then gets berated by Mad-Eye Moody about having his butt blown off.
and I love how Tonks made a comment, be like, "Hey, have you ever actually met someone who blew their butt off?" And he doesn't give an answer.
You know, I love how Gilderoy's got the drip, but Snape has the flair and dramatics for how he poses and casts his spells.
Yes.
If we were to combine them together in terms of style, we would have a unparalleled wizard when it comes to just good looks. Could you imagine like a black dueling vest or something along those lines with like the you know the hanging
Yes.
coat part and everything? At least Gilderoy
Coattails.
has. I love how Gilderoy even looks shamed and everything. It's just like, yeah, all right,
Like,
he's got
"Oh,
me
I'm
there.
done." He didn't get his moment to show off.
Yeah. I gotta be honest with you, Alan Rickman also has got some pretty damn good drip on his clothings and stuff. His cloak game is
You can
on
see the
fire.
hourglasses in the back.
Wait, really?
for the
Did I miss him?
cosplays?
Yeah, so we are in. I never
They're in the Great
realized.
Hall.
I never realized when I watched this movie until I read the books that this was
There they
taking
are.
place in the Great Hall.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Scad Potter, you wish. Daniel Radcliffe has no fucking chill when he's acting as Harry Potter. You know what I mean? You wish. God, this is so intense. They're just dueling, and yet they're already, like, ready to roll.
Well, yeah, they're arch enemies.
You know, we should have put Hermione on the table, just because that would have been hilarious to watch her just mop the floor with Malfoy. On second thought. That seems like such a Malfoy move right there.
To go before...
Yeah. Oh, fuck off, Snape. You smug brace.
See, but the look that Draco gets, like, he's like, oh shit, I fucked up.
For the
Right on his
tickling
ass.
spell. Or curse, or jinx, or whatever it is.
Their spells make no sense, especially
Yeah,
during
because
the
Rictum
beginning.
Sempra is supposed to be like a fire spell in the games, the PC games.
Yeah, and Snape was supposed to tell him to use that spell. Like, whisper in his ear, basically.
Rictum Sempra isn't a fire spell, though. But
is?
it is in the games?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I could have sworn Harry used, like, a dancing jinx, basically, on
I'm not
Harry's
really sure
legs.
what he was trying to do there, but it sounded like he was trying to levitate the snake.
You know, Leviosa would have been fine if you wanted to levitate the snake. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, he said, like, ascendale, so...
I like the idea that in this moment the teachers are, like, just scared shitless because of this just going out of nowhere.
Also, this snake doesn't listen as well as it does in the book. Harry has to repeat it 3 times.
I would have loved it if here's a funny idea. What if Harry just tamed the snake? And so Malfoy summoned a snake, and Harry's just walking around the
It's mine
school
now,
with it.
bitch.
It's mine now.
It would have been more entertaining if he'd been like, "Come here, snake," and the snake
Aw.
just went straight over.
Like
him.
he's treating it like it's this cute animal, and it's actually this cobra,
Yeah, we
basically.
missed out
Like
on
this thing
that.
could kill
Like
a
Harry
person in
having
a
a
bite, and Harry's
very
just treating
loving
it like a
snakes.
cat. That would have been a great story. I read a fan fiction basically where Harry ended up getting a snake instead of an owl from Hagrid, and it was like a white snake and everything, and it was named Hedwig still. And he'd still talk to it and everything and stuff, and it would just threw everything out the window in the like, yeah, what are you guys talking about? I feel like in some of the scenes they actually do have fun with where the conversations are taking. Because if I recall correctly, this conversation took place in an empty classroom.
Yeah.
But getting to have it in the common room just feels so much nicer. I would love to just
less
hang
sets
out.
they have to deal with.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, if I recall, after a while, they just have hallways for most of their like talking stuff inside of
think so.
Hogwarts.
More like a cousin.
Considering almost all of the Sacred 28 basically are all basically inbreeding with each other, it wouldn't be that shocking, dude.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, technically... Well, no, because it was the Gaunt house was...
The direct lineage.
Was it of Slytherin and one of the brothers, or was it just they got combined
Yeah, it was
at
one of the
point?
Percival brothers, which is
Right.
also where Harry can draw his line from with the Percival
Right.
brothers as well.
But also Gryffindor. Isn't Harry actually related to Gryffindor?
No, that was
No?
never stated.
Oh, okay.
The only family lines that we know about are technically Rowena Ravenclaw's daughter, which is the Grey Lady, who
Yeah.
died before she could have kids.
Helga Ravenclaw.
Helga Hufflepuff.
No. Her daughter's name was Helga.
It was Helena.
Or was it Helen?
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
I thought she named her daughter after...
Helena, Helga. Helga Hufflepuff was... We just had the scene earlier.
I thought Ravenclaw named her daughter after Hufflepuff.
That's possible, but it's not the same name.
Huh.
Gryffindor doesn't have any known descendants, and Hufflepuff didn't have any either. Slytherin did, because at some point in time, at the very least, it split off. They had the Gaunts, but they also had a relative that went over and initiated Livermore from the that's the
Ilvermorny?
yeah.
Oh,
There's Nick.
Not very black.
I mean, you can only do so much with CGI, especially in the early 2000s.
I guess.
Harry, why are you touching the person? This was also supposed to be in the middle of a hallway during classes.
During the day.
Yeah.
There go the spiders.
Aren't they so cute?
No.
Yeah, far away on a screen. Nowhere near me.
Is that snow?
Yes.
Nice.
Also, sorry guys for the noise. The furnace kicked on.
Happens to the best of us. I honestly forgot to turn it off. That's why I had the furnace on, the fireplace on. Hey, it's a griffin door. I'm still convinced
Boo.
this is technically Gryffindor's actual secret room. I'm convinced all of the founders
Had a secret room.
I thought his contribution was no. You think that the room requirement was Helga's?
Yep.
It was Hufflepuff's contribution.
I always figured it was the kitchens, to be honest, because she's always been associated with food, and that Ravenclaw was the one who made the room of requirement.
Yeah, but the room of requirement being Hufflepuff, like, sure, it's clever, but it feels like it's more of a Hufflepuff thing, because it's there to help any student, or any person.
I get what you're saying, but
Maybe they both did it.
but the question now becomes, what did Ravenclaw do?
The library.
There's really nothing spectacularly magical about it compared to the Griffin, like the headmaster's office.
There's nothing
And
really
the
special.
room of requirement is so much more impressive than all of them, to be honest.
Then maybe Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw did it together.
The Sorting Hat looks so much better than what is described in the actual book. That thing's supposed to be like patched to hell and high water, like
And grubby, and
yeah.
this thing looks like it's made out of leather.
I mean, it also doesn't look like it was made, too long ago, to be honest.
According to the Wikia, Ravenclaw came up with the ever-changing floor plan.
Oh.
It's popular historical theory that she came up with the location and name for Hogwarts, having dreamt of a warty hog leading up to a cliff by the lake.
Huh.
Also, fuck you, Rowena. We didn't need moving floors.
Yeah.
Or moving stairs. Poor Fox. Poof.
I love the confused look on his face, like, what?
Poor Harry. It's been a rough year.
As in Guy Fawkes, the guy who got lit on fire for the powder pod. Oh, it's so ugly. I love it. He sells Dumbledore so well. This is the image in my mind. I'm sorry for the gentleman who takes over after he passes on.
But it's just not the same.
Oh, and there's the roosters dying and stuff along those lines subplot that I don't think it's mentioned.
Nope.
They smoothed Hagrid out quite a bit as well.
Make him a little bit more distinguished than he comes off in the books.
Yeah.
That's okay. He deserves it.
To be fair, Hagrid can be a bit of a menace in the actual books, to the point where I feel like the Golden Trio was kind of like at certain points we're almost done with him, basically, in a couple of occasions. he's still... Daniel Radcliffe will always sound like Daniel Radcliffe to me. The other young actors and stuff feel like they aged up a little bit. I don't know how much Radcliffe's voice changed over the course of the series. Oh god, this would be so much fun, but where the heck did they get the horses?
Yeah.
I don't recall there ever being stables on Hogwarts grounds.
It feels like what that was supposed to be was like the carriages taking the kids back to the
That's
train.
supposed to be Thestrals.
But it should be Thestrals, and they should be carriages, not sleds. But
I mean, to be fair, the third book was already out, where they mentioned the fact that they were carriages drawn by nothing in particular. Because I don't think the Thestrals are actually a thing until book 5.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense the way they wouldn't necessarily have them this early on, because I think these first 2 movies came out before.
Well, then they would have been drawn by nothing.
Yeah.
Cupcakes.
Not gonna lie, those pastries look delicious.
It looks a little dry.
Hopefully there's a cream filling in them. I would 100% eat it.
That's fair. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Okay.
That looks like she snipped the hair off.
Yeah, she technically grabbed it during the dueling scene.
But
It's
again,
crazy that she got a single fine hair.
not in that vial. It looks like she cut a lock off of Millicent Bulstrode.
Which would make no sense considering what ends up happening. Rupert Grint's facial expressions work just way too well. I still can't help but question the intelligence of these 2 idiots.
They're idiots.
Like, I know, but floating pastries seems like a really obvious frickin' trap. There are a couple of bullies you think they'd know better than this nonsense. I do feel bad, though. The actors never really get too much roles in these movies. They're basically just not even really relevant. They could have cut them completely from the movies and it wouldn't make much of a difference. Outside of this specific movie.
I love Ron's face, like, really?
This should not have worked this easily.
Make sure you eat the pea soup before you eat it too.
The shrunken heads, I know, are probably not, the greatest representation of cultural sensitivity.
But they have some good lines.
I do find them funny in spite of it. Though they never appeared in the book. It's weird. It's such a weird addition. The shrunken heads are only in that movie. They never get mentioned again. They're never relevant again. And they were never in the books. I mean, we can add shit into the movies, no problems, but actually keeping important
I love how
scenes...
Harry keeps drinking this, like, it's not that bad. Oh, wait, now my stomach hurts.
Oh, man. I still like the idea that depending on how good of a person you are, the better it tastes. There's a lot of, things in the Harry Potter universe that basically are just, freaking personality quizzes that we would have filled out back when you were in high school and everything. Huh. That was not a bad effect. Also, I don't understand why their vocal cords just wouldn't automatically change. He kind of looks like Professor Hulk. They completely cut out the comments about Maleficent's appearance in this.
Oh.
Because both of them were making a comment and everything about Maleficent not being a very good-looking person. They didn't even show them changing clothes or anything along those lines.
Nope.
God, that would feel like such a violation of your privacy if somebody could turn into you and basically see what your body looks like unhindered. He's just nodding along. The got a thing for a second. They didn't even bother. They didn't even bother, actually. They're like, are you Crab or am I Goyle? I have no idea. Oh my goodness.
Is she still over there?
No, I don't see her. I think she disappeared. Is she going to bed, I take it?
She was letting us know the moves over. Brush teeth? Oh, when Kimmy's done brush teeth.
Yeah. Penelope Clearwater is completely cut out as well. They act even more stooge-like than I expected them to be. If I recall, they're supposed to be a newspaper, right? They're supposed to...
He starts reading the newspaper at the end when they start changing back. At least in the movie.
He still sounds like Ron. To be honest, that's kind of a concerning thought. Like, how when the students would obviously be telling their parents, you know?
Yeah.
And there would definitely be some complaints about this. The fact that it isn't, especially considering how much power the Daily Prophet gets later on in the series, where it becomes much more much more of an effective force of propaganda. They're so much meaner in the books and everything. The fact they're so shrinking and stuff, and Malfoy doesn't suspect the thing, kind of goes to show what their relationship is, at least in the movies.
Oh, they actually gave him Oh, wait, no, this is not Harry. This is actually Crabbe or Goyle or whatever. I was like, they gave him contacts.
It seems like... Is this yours? Just randomly takes it. Malfoy is just like a freaking kleptomaniac, just taking shit, ripping pages out of books and stuff. Man, this kid is just...
He's spoiled.
He is so entitled.
Aww. Look at the baby. Like, what happened to the sound? The socks are still red.
Ron is about to just, like... To be fair, if there was ever a time to beat somebody's ass, having somebody else's face would be like the perfect time to have it. Do it.
I didn't do anything.
And then he opens the package. Turning red. What the fuck was in there that he had to listen to see what it is?
Oh no. I'm being attacked by a cat.
How unfortunate. I'm getting attacked by a dog. Let's see. It's moments like this where it dries up my sympathy for Moaning Myrtle real freaking quick.
Why does Harry look perpetually dirty in this movie?
How are you capable of seeing there, Harry? You should definitely have had your glasses on way before this point. Ron, you look a little too okay with this transformation, my dude. Are you secretly a furry?
He might be. He's just more laughing at it.
Look at your tail. This would be like they're taking this so much more lightly than they should originally. God, this would be Jesus. How badly did she flood the bathroom? The whole outer hallway's flooded, and it's going off into the freaking like staircases and shit, and just dripping off. I feel like this should have been noticed a little bit sooner.
Right. Pixie, make up your mind. Come on.
It's gonna make... Oh god, that'd be so weird. Considering it's compared to going through a cold mist when somebody does that, that would really mess with me.
Come here. Also, I'm talking to his cat. She's being very annoying.
Wait, it's a U-bend. That means that she was probably underground or something. Alright, I've got no explanation as to why, like, she'd consider that throwing at her. Like, if somebody, like, chucked the damn thing at you, I'd consider that throwing.
Yeah.
If somebody's trying to flush it down the toilet and you didn't realize there was a ghost in there, that was not intentionally
She's
mean.
overdramatic. She's a hormonal teenage ghost.
Permanent.
But my question is, how did the diary fit down the toilet?
Magic.
I guess.
To be fair, I don't think Ginny actually got it down. I think she probably shoved it in there, flushed the toilet a bunch of times, and just booked it.
Probably.
We completely cut out the Valentine's Day subplot.
Yep.
Because Harry wasn't supposed to try and write it.
He was just wondering why it was dry.
Yeah. Because he had to dry all of his other stuff off because of the ink on it.
No, I mean in the movie. He was just like, oh, it's dry.
Yeah. I wonder if they put like a ballpoint pen in that to make it easier for him to do this.
Good question.
Or if he actually knows how to write with a quill in real life now because of this movie.
Or they just CGI'd the writing on there.
I mean, that's also a distinct possibility. Movie magic and all that.
I don't see him dipping his quill in any ink.
I mean, that could be the magic of editing. Because I could have sworn there was a scene earlier where he actually was using it. They had an ink quill next, like an ink bottle next to him.
You know, I think it's just CGI'd on there because it. Oh.
Yeah, see, right there.
There, he dips it, but.
He also does this in his bedroom originally. He's not doing this out in the middle of the common room.
Also, why is he just immediately trusting this diary? He's as bad as Ginny.
To be fair, Harry doesn't know nearly as well as Ginny would in this situation. They really do cut down the dialogue between these two, because I think after this point in time we're done, but there was supposed to be some explanations as to why the diary was a thing and stuff along those lines, you know? The original excuse was, if I recall correctly, that I wanted to preserve it in case it ever happened again.
Yeah, I think he talked a little bit more before he showed him.
Yeah.
Can I help you?
I do like that Ron's, like, automatically suspicious of him, like, right off the bat.
As he should be.
I mean, fair. I still find it weird that this diary does not jive very well with the way other Horcruxes actually work. I like the explanation that it was basically supposed to be a weapon of some kind for its original creation, which I feel, considering that it's like one of the first ones, it does kind of make sense. I wonder if they reused like the prop hand from the Quidditch scene for this. I do feel like, considering this is 50 years in the past, I feel like Dumbledore should have looked a lot younger.
Maybe.
I get they're letting the actor continue on, but he still looks really old, because you got to remember, this takes place not too long after or around the time of Fantastic Beasts.
16 years later.
He aged a lot in those 16 years, didn't he? He went from, like, a really, really handsome, like, you know, short...
Dapper gentleman.
Yeah, to basically, already, I'm a wizard.
Time is weird. Wibbly wobbly.
To be fair, though, like, the shortening of the beard and everything, and the black and white thing to kind of obscure what, like, how, like, gray his hair is at this point is a nice little way of...
Yeah, and he's got some color in the beard and some color in his hair.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's in black and white, you can tell.
Yeah. You can really tell when the light's, like, angled differently and stuff. You know, I kind of wonder if it'd be weird to, like, watch these movies while, like, dipping him down the color and stuff and actually just turning them into black and white movies, how that would impact things.
Right, and technically I think this isn't black and white, it's sepia.
I mean,
Slightly different.
Harry gets to still be in color, though, which is a nice touch.
It is.
Well, yeah, they completely cut out Armando Dippet.
That's okay.
To be fair, though, it does make Dumbledore look a little bit more trusting of him.
Oh, no.
Shit. Where'd you put the controller, babe? You sat on it.
Right there. I didn't mean to do anything.
Shit. Why is it... What? Come on.
Apparently I sat on the controller and I paused the movie.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Oh, no. We're streaming too many devices now. Dang it. Shit. Alright, so we are currently in the middle of the scene with, like, Dumbledore, like, Hagrid and everything. We don't really get to see his face, which is kind of a bummer that they didn't cast a version of Hagrid in terms of, you know, appearance and all that. I guess we're going to just have to watch off of our phones now because we can't really get Chamber of Secrets
We're
working.
now at negative 107.42.
Yeah, that's pretty... I'm at basically negative
So that's
7 as
time
well.
remaining.
Yeah. What time is it anyway?
Is 8:30 something?
Okay. We got... You want to keep
We
going?
should be able to finish it
Okay. I was...
if there's no more interruptions.
Considering the kids are in bed, we should be alright. It is bummer not getting to watch it on the big screen. We're all basically curled up with phones at this point in time. Hey, there's the
We watched it on
Ravenclaw
your,
sweater.
We had it on your tablet last time, Brandy. Well, if you give me the remote, we can try it periodically to get it on the big screen again.
We're going to definitely have to skip forward if we get the big screen going.
That's fine.
Hello, Hagrid. Actress. Have you anything Hagrid and Harry in the loose? Nestle? And Harry? You wouldn't be talking about me.
No, would you?
So I love how
He
Hagrid's
looks
like,
back
that's a little
that's
suspicious.
A little suspicious. Do you wanna? Oops. How do I go back to?
It doesn't want to stand up.
How do I get
Oh.
back to?
Hit the home menu.
There we go.
At least they gave Neville something to do.
Our room's been trashed.
This bothers me so much that the girls can go into the boys' side and like you'd think, okay, look, we can't go to the girls' side, so I guess we're gonna have fun over on the guys' side, basically. You'd think they would have cut it off for both genders just to be on the safe side. What the heck are you doing in your Hedwig? I would imagine how disappointed I was when the fire was reopened and Ginny was there.
You know, it's so weird that we couldn't resume this.
I wish the twins had a little bit more time to show off and have fun with their contacts and stuff.
Right?
Why does it look like there's already somebody on the air? Jesus. Man, we cut out so much
Yeah.
stuff between those scenes. And Percy's girlfriend's completely cut from the series as well, because she's not even mentioned. It's just Hermione. We had like a moment of realization where she's supposed to run off and everything.
Holding a hand mirror, not a compact mirror.
It didn't specify. It just said a mirror.
I thought it did.
I thought it just said a mirror.
We keep... I swear, it's not like we just got done reading this book or anything, I swear.
I don't remember what I read.
That's alright, I don't even remember what I write half the time.
Oh, it does just say a small circular mirror.
I mean, that could be anything at that point, that description. Man, that... Why are you still in your Quidditch uniform? Seriously.
They didn't have time to change.
I mean, to be fair, I like the Quidditch robes. They look so cool and so well designed.
Because it's probably she took them to go see Hermione and then escorted them back to the common room.
I love
Even
how
though it's now
everybody's
nighttime.
eyeing each other.
No, it's still daytime. He says, right in the middle of the common room, with everybody else there, where anybody could have overheard him.
Details. I'm thoroughly convinced that Hagrid was armed and ready for when they tried to take him to Azkaban. And the only reason he went quietly was because the kids were there.
Yeah, probably.
I remember seeing the trailer with Hagrid and like the crossbow and everything. The trailer made this movie so much more like horror themed than it actually is.
I mean, there's a mysterious monster hunting down students. Pretty terrifying. I really wish we could have known what Hagrid was going to say.
Yeah, I definitely kind of. There's like a lot of little things where it's like would have been interesting to hear him kind of tell like the story because he never gets a chance to tell.
I had a creature I was raising, but it was scared of what was in the chamber. But it wouldn't talk about it.
I mean, to be honest, the acromantula, the fact that Hagrid got him so young and everything, is already capable of talking is impressive. They need to have more than one wizard prison, seriously. Something for people who are under suspicion rather than
maximum security and then
yeah.
county jail.
Not even that. There's either you're free or you're maximum. In the mind-corrupting, soul-draining prison.
we need a county jail equivalent.
Yeah, pretty much. Close house. I mean, to be fair, it is more of a cabin.
But it's home, okay?
Oh, hell yeah. I'd rather live in Hagrid's place than Malfoy's. Jesus.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily turn down a giant mansion like that, but, you know.
I couldn't afford the taxes on that.
That's true.
Listen, if I'm getting the Malfoy mansion, I need Malfoy's money to go with it.
Yeah. I do like that apparently that the Malfoys got most of their money trading and selling with muggles. Like, their fortune was built on muggle money, basically.
Oh, jeez.
And when the Statue of Secrecy went down and everything, they basically, like, washed their hands and pretended it never happened.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Malfoy line was technically in line for the throne of England at one point. Before they decided that muggles and wizard politics needed to remain separate.
There. Fudge is being awfully quiet about this, considering he was also not very keen on the idea of sacking Dumbledore during this as well. Which is kind of wild, considering how friendly him and Fudge get along with later on in the series.
Oh, Fudge and Malfoy?
Yeah. It's funny how that works out. Like, right now, they seem to be on opposite ends, and then all of a sudden they're friends as soon as Fudge gets the idea in his head that Dumbledore's trying to take the job. It's not like Dumbledore could have had it at any point in time if he wanted it or anything.
I think it was offered to him a couple of times, and he's like, no, I don't want it, thanks.
Yeah, Fudge used to beg Dumbledore for help and advice when he got elected.
He's such a petty little shit. The fact that he doesn't bring any auras is wild as well. You think that if the Minister of Magic is going to go arrest somebody, you think that he'd actually, bring some muscle? I mean, say what you want about Umbridge and everything, at least she had the good sense to actually bring a freaking team.
Right.
It didn't work, but,
Who's to say there's not orders outside waiting?
I mean, fair, we don't really necessarily see anybody. Fang does not care at all. I think your phone's tagging you, man.
Fine. Someone messaged her. Oh.
More
The
spiders.
darn TV was working.
I'd easily screen share it, put it up on the TV and everything based off my phone. The problem is that our sound would come through it as well. If I recall correctly, when they actually went to go follow the spiders, it took a little while for them to find some spiders to follow.
I think so.
So I think there was a slight delay between Hagrid getting sacked and... Yeah.
Because they wanted to wait till it was necessary.
To be fair, it's a good shortening in terms of, overall movie editing.
I'm still shocked and why isn't this working now when we were having no problems with it a moment ago?
Who knows? Next time we do this with third movie and everything, I'm just gonna have the DVD out ready to go, rather than just relying on
That's
Max.
fair. Hopefully there aren't any missing or added scenes.
Oh, that'd be wild. But I only remember a couple of scenes that could theoretically be it. Since I think after a point the DVDs just had them off to the side at that point. I could check the settings just to be safe.
I'm gonna go fly.
I remember this also taking for fucking ever. They went so deep into the forest, it was ridiculous originally. They got carried off to the spider place. The fact that they could just walk into without too much issues. The spiders don't have nearly as strong a presence in the movies as they do in the books. And outside of Aragog's death in book 6, I don't think they're mentioned at all in movies after this point.
What, the...
Spiders, yeah. They were in 4 or 5.
Are they mentioned in 5?
Yep, because Harry, when Hermione's going through the forest, he realizes that they're heading more towards Aragog's grotto.
In the movie.
In the book, they mention it.
Yeah, I was talking about him not being mentioned in the movies.
Oh yeah, they're not mentioned at all in the movies until book 6.
And then after that, not at all. They were originally supposed to be relevant for the final battle.
They're mentioned in the spiders show up in the 8th movie.
They
The
did?
battle, pretty sure.
Well,
Running out of the forest.
we'll know when we get there, but I remember them being like a swarm, Hagrid got carried off by them basically.
Hello.
He's not as impressive as it was in my mind when I was reading this book.
Your cat's a menace.
Yeah, they all are.
This is such a poor Ron. He's freaking out through this whole process.
See the trauma.
Yeah. They never do give an explanation for why he's afraid of spiders.
Not in the movie.
Nope.
It's such an easy scene to toss in, though. I mean, we could have trimmed something basically and tossed that in, I feel.
Do not speak of it.
Captions on the whole time.
Have you had it on? Maybe because I didn't touch it.
He kind of looks like an old man. He's got it looks like he's got a receding hairline and everything.
I could just see him messing things up.
That's fair.
Our dog was trying to get in our way.
He's now laying his head on my chest. He's adorable.
He wants love.
Brandy's like, nope, 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 nope,
I
nope.
think I'm in his spot.
No, he's like,
He does? Yeah, okay.
We can't even get him under the bed even if we wanted him to. Jesus. I honestly feel like the spiders are more terrifying than the basilisk in this movie.
It's so crazy. Like, when we saw this in theaters, my brother had zero reaction, and I think I talked about this before. But when we saw Spider-Man in theaters, my brother screamed when the spider bit, when it does the close-up of the spider biting Peter Parker.
huh.
I don't think you've ever mentioned that before.
That's what I did. Maybe not. But yeah, no, my brother screamed when the spider bit Peter Parker. But in this movie, nothing. No reaction to these giant spiders.
Well, let's be fair, they're not biting anybody.
Yeah, but when it drops out down like that in front of them. Oh, good card.
Another problem with most what ifs, if this card is not here and everything to bail them out, they're in some serious trouble.
Right.
I mean, I suppose you could have the Centaur save them again, but it feels kind of cheap if every single time they get in trouble they get pulled out with the same thing. Yeah, he's friendly. He's giving you a hug. I have no idea what that spell is he keeps
Right?
saying.
And how did it not hurt Ron?
I love how Ron's got enough control of the situation to literally angle himself as far left as humanly possible for Harry to get the cleanest shot possible. Fang does not care. Like, Fang is just sitting there casually, like they're not actually in jail in a chair. Like, Fang was so terrified of this after this whole thing, he ran back to Hagrid's hut.
Tail between his legs.
Yeah. Right now, Fang's just sort of like, car ride? Car ride? Car ride? This is awesome!
He's having a good time.
Jesus, how many freaking spiders are in this damn forest?
Also, man, that forest is very, very, perfectly aligned trees there.
I wonder if this is the same spot where they did like the slow motion scenes for the second Sherlock Holmes movie. It looks similar. Remember in the second movie where they're running and stuff and like the trees are getting exploded and stuff?
Oh.
It looks a lot similar to that. It looked like the trees look like similarly positioned.
Maybe.
I am curious now because I was watching. I was listening to a podcast and everything.
Pet your dog.
I am petting my dog.
Pet your dog more.
I kind of need to watch the movie at the same time. He's getting one hand, and you should be grateful for it.
Anyway, you were saying you were listening or watching something?
Yeah, it was a Rooster Teeth podcast. And Gavin, the guy who does like the slow motion stuff and everything, was talking about doing the Sherlock Holmes movie and everything with like slow motion.
Yeah,
and he
because
said,
he was an apprentice on that movie, right?
yeah, and there was scenes that they did at this one location for the trees and stuff along those lines. And he said it's actually really common for a lot of different movies.
Makes sense. It might be then.
Oh, definitely.
Had. You know, we could have told you that. You should know better.
Should have known that.
To be fair, it's a mystery. They had to have some red herrings, false leads, and stuff. It makes sense.
Aw, look at that. Bringing her flowers.
Harry's such a good boyfriend in these movies. They're a lot more okay with talking to her in this one. In the books, they're kind of like, this is kind of pointless, whereas Harry, in this one, it feels like he's legitimately trying to comfort her while she's basically the equivalent of magic coma.
You didn't even have to pry that out at all.
Now, I remember they had to really fight for it. Like, they had to try and make it so they didn't look too suspicious. Still kind of sad that they tossed out her eureka moment. Ron's like facial expression is so like unconvinced. Like he's being the biggest critic of Hermione right now by not like automatically going with what's been put down. This is such a nice little reflection of.
Imagine if the basilisk just popped up in the window right there, like, hello, it's me.
Okay.
They would have both been petrified.
Ugh. Thinking. Alright, got it. Go. Would have been cooler if you actually saw a puddle on the floor, basically. It's like, there we go.
Right.
I love how they keep glancing down at the paper. They almost look like they're reading their script in the scene.
Maybe they were.
I mean, to be fair, that'd be a sneaky way to help people who keep forgetting their lines. Give them a piece of paper that they need and put their lines on it.
That happens a lot. Like, they'll have lines if they need to on like books and stuff or things that are nearby, and that you wouldn't notice.
And we've now just jumped like all the way basically to the end. This was supposed to be in the faculty office, to be honest, at this point.
Well,
Honestly, that's kind of sad, though.
I'm knitting and my stitches are not lining up.
Snatched.
Severus is just so cool as a cucumber, and it kind of ruins the fact that he's kind of sympathetic towards Ginny in the actual book. The shade. Oh man, yeah.
They all know. Even Filch is like, what?
Seriously?
I will admit.
Oh, dude, did you hear the hitch in his breath?
Yeah. I will admit though, Ron's facial expressions need a little work sometimes.
He's a little over the top, but it does work for him, which is probably why he got cast. He got to do so much comedy relief in these.
But you can also see, like, if you were watching, he was like taking that hitching breath, like.
Yeah. I think my problem with it is that he too much mouth expression, not enough eye expression. You know what I mean? Like he's too much with his mouth.
Hey, look, play the actor's strengths. Is that a wig?
Yes.
Why does
There's
he
a
have
wig
a
stand right there.
Why does he have a wig? Isn't
I don't
his
know.
hair already?
Because on days when he doesn't have time to make his hair perfect, he puts a wig on.
I have so many questions on how that works.
What do you mean?
Oh, fair. To
Maybe
be honest, though, a
fair.
lot of Gilderoy's Lockhart's also been cut. Like, does he like put a ball cap on or something along those lines with a wig over top of it? Like,
No, you wouldn't have to.
So lazy
Maybe
wig.
it-
look, I don't wear wigs. I have no idea how they
Do
operate.
you wear wigs?
No.
Really?
That's why I'm confused.
At least wig cap.
I was making a reference there. Hopefully one of you out there understood the reference I was making.
Jesus.
Oh my god, Myrtle.
So obnoxious.
So dramatic. She's like hovering inside of this bathroom, just waiting for somebody to show up.
couldn't imagine spending an eternity just doing that.
You'd think Lockhart would have paid attention to know that Ron sucks, and that Ron is the only one with the wand out at the moment.
I mean, he may. However, do you really want to be on the other end of that wand if Ron decides to use it?
To be fair, if the guy had been paying attention to anything around him...
the side of the wand would be the safest place.
Exactly. Considering it ends up backfiring on his ass pretty thoroughly. A made-up language. Wait, so everybody else knew he was speaking Parseltongue, when she had no frickin' clue? Jeez. The fact that nobody asked. Do people just try to pretend ghosts don't exist or something?
Maybe Myrtle specifically.
I'm trying to forget she didn't it exists.
God, those mirrors look so ineffective.
Phil's probably doesn't go in there.
Work.
Yeah, he's doing a horrible job of keeping the frickin' place clean. I can't even use a mirror properly now.
I just said that bathroom. That's probably why Phil doesn't go in there. He's probably like, they don't use this anyway.
That's not how this works. Just, I'm a janitor.
No one says he's a good janitor.
I'm a janitor and everything. And the fact of the matter is, I would be fired if I don't clean certain sections, even if nobody really uses them.
Again, no one says he's a good janitor.
He should be a fire janitor. Dumbledore is way too nice to his staff, because there's some shit people get away with they really shouldn't be getting away with. This is so wildly dramatic. If I recall correctly, the damn sink just dropped down. I don't think that the damn top floated or anything. Or
Okay,
separated.
creative liberties with the movie.
Yeah.
Which person wants to be the critic and which person wants to be the apologist? We keep switching here.
We can switch, it's fine.
We both know you're not.
Look, the sink did drop down. I'm the switch hitter here.
You know, if one of these people knew anything about transfigurations and actually just got themselves a bloody freaking rooster, we gotta solve this problem real freaking
Right.
This is so cold. Seriously, they acting like mobsters in some of these scenes. Man, Harry and Ron are like, yep, give him some cement shoes.
You want to get a little stand next time? Next time we'll use our tablet. If we have the same issue.
I mean, to be fair, it'll probably be easier to do it this way in the future, even if I would prefer to watch this on the big screen. Much better placement of that line.
To be fair, one of us could watch like through your Xbox. You use your headphones and your headset, and then one of us on here.
I don't know if my TVs have Bluetooth capacity, though.
Do you not have a? We have a spare headset though.
The Xbox headset.
Yeah, like an Xbox headset. This is through the controller.
I'll have to test that out one day. Could you imagine having to deal with this every single time you had to go down there? I could not imagine Tom Riddle going down a slide.
He would have had his arms crossed and a style on his face and not having fun.
This is not fun. I'm not having fun.
And then he would have landed on his feet.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
I'm not having a good time right now.
How did he get back up, though? Like, they had Fox to help him get back up and everything.
Like,
But
did
how?
he ride on the basilisk?
I mean, I guess. This seems like a really bad idea not having some stairs to use, though. Could you imagine, like, Salazar Slytherin sliding down this thing, though? I gotta go see my
Honestly,
sick.
I'm just getting Aladdin vibes with the magic carpet, just them descending, levitating, and then just coming back up the same way.
The thing is, though, that would basically be flying, which is considered impossible until, like, the final book.
Voldemort could fly.
It's considered impossible until the final book, sweetheart.
Dumbledore can fly.
No, we can't. That's what made it scary, because he was breaking one of the 5 core rules of magic.
Oh.
you can't pull yourself up, basically, which is why most people gave up on trying to make you fly without a broom. Thunk. Jesus, how freaking much of an impact was that? Seriously. We don't get the skin. We don't get the skin. Oh. Wait.
Yeah, Harry said it's a snake skin.
Yeah, we skipped that already.
Sorry, conversation back and forth and everything.
Tisk, tisk.
You're the one distracting me. Be quiet.
I'm not distracting you. I'm not doing shit. I'm crocheting.
You're talking right now.
That's the whole point of this.
Semantics. Details. Who needs them?
Man, such a boy can't multitask.
Quiet, you.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
I'll tell you how to live your life. Whether or not you listen is your prerogative.
Who am I?
Do you live here?
No.
Takes a rock.
Thunk.
Knocks his ass out. Ron's like, I ain't putting up with
Even Harry, like, oof. Also, man, 12-year-old's got a lot of strength.
Dude, Ron is straight up like gangsta in some of these scenes. Like I could see Harry and Ron pointing like guns at each other, like Pulp Fiction style. Like Harry and Ron are like ride or die for each other as it is.
Harry.
They would make the worst criminal organization pair.
Harry, parcel tongue, motherfucker, do you speak?
I did not.
Not as funny as we all laugh. Like, we laughed way harder than that joke was funny.
Maybe I just really needed one.
I don't know about you, but I'm thinking New Cross is tattered.
Oh no!
Harry holding his wand like that.
Oh, just the words. Parcel tongue, motherfucker.
Do you speak it?
You need to find like a crochet pattern of Ron and Harry with their wands out, and then you gotta have that underneath it basically as like
I'll see what I can find.
If you finish that while we're still doing this podcast, we need to have that as being one of the images
I
for the
can't
whole thing.
start anything new.
Until she finishes something.
Get to it.
Oh, they're all huge projects. I guess Labyrinth is getting finished.
Go for it.
Closest one to a finish.
Oh man, this is such a cool atmosphere though. Like all the little snakes, the water and everything, the freaking statue, the Dutch angles.
I like that they have the set up the same in the final movie.
I mean, I do love consistency when it comes to movies and books and stuff.
Little bit. The rest of Hogwarts may not be consistent, but at least they recreated the Chamber of Secrets right.
But you know what? The rest of Hogwarts not being consistent tracks with Hogwarts.
That's fair.
Considering it changed quite a bit over the 100 years between Legacy and stuff.
Fair. Like, they moved the owls a lot closer, obviously.
And grab the wand. His robes almost look like Ravenclaw robes instead of
Yeah.
in the lighting.
True.
I love the little music in the background.
You know, I meant to say it earlier, but technically their uniforms in this are also wrong. They don't have a uniform underneath it. It's just with robes.
Yeah, I know. I mentioned that earlier, but I still think it's a nice touch.
I think you mentioned it in book one.
Oh, I also mentioned it earlier in this.
I think you started to. No, because you mentioned him wearing his cloak and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, he's hanging out at the Burrow.
When they went down now.
I have to admit, the actor they got to play young Tom is actually pretty damn good.
Cute? Pretty damn cute? Yeah.
Good.
Oh, good.
What?
What?
Eh?
Look, man, they even say that he was extremely handsome.
Yeah.
That's
To
what
be
you
fair,
were
Harry also comments on a couple other guys' attractiveness as well. So some people have made comments that Harry might be bi at least.
I can see it.
I mean, he made a comment. I think it was Charlie or Bill or something along those lines, where he made a mention. It was like,
I think Bill.
Yeah.
Bill, he said it was cool.
We'll comment about it later and everything.
I think it happens in the next book.
No, fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah, the rest of the Weasley family doesn't show up until the Quidditch World Cup.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm pretty sure Bill is supposed to be the attractive one of the family.
3, he was hanging out at the Leaky Cauldron because of blowing up his hands.
I just thought because
He doesn't go back to the Burrow in the next movie.
Well, no, but I thought he saw a picture. I was thinking you described Bill in the photo.
I think
But
if
I think
right, he would technically pop up because he's the one. Isn't he the no?
Because they would
Charlie is the one who's in Romania. Bill is the one that's in Green Gods.
Yeah, and in the third book, there was a picture of the Weasley family in Egypt. And
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. It was where the first time he described Bill.
I don't think we really get a good look at him though.
We'll find out, I guess.
I don't recall Harry talking about him during that image and stuff. I think he was more like somebody deserved to have money. It was the Weasleys. Dude, Voldemort, you're so fucking extra. You picked a name for yourself in freaking high school, basically, and you kept it all the way until your 50s.
What an edgelord.
So edgy. At least Grindelwald's name was Zone.
Right.
I am Lord Voldemort. Rearranged. Just full name. Jesus. Harry sounds so much more confident in the movies than he does in the books sometimes.
He does.
A songbird and an old.
Sounds like a fucking raptor, not gonna lie.
Dude! That would be cool!
Okay.
Fucking Dumbledore sends a raptor to go help out everything.
Okay, imagine though.
Say hi to
I've
Blue
seen
for
some posts about this, but imagine being a Muggle-born wizard, right? And your Patronus is a motherfucking Velociraptor.
Dude.
Oh, yes!
Yes.
I mean, to be honest, magical creatures are possible, so, ancient ones should be.
Right.
I really wish they'd done some sort of translation, like subtitles or something, in order to hear some of the shit, because...
Yeah. Especially because Harry's supposed to be able to understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually when people are speaking cross mouth, Harry just has it automatically translated in regular English for him. Ironically enough, the whole name shift thing, if I recall correctly, he has different names in different languages in order to get I am Lord Voldemort.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's part of the commentary and everything. I kind of like the snake. He's so cool!
She.
Oh, right there.
Yeah,
Right there.
remember? Doesn't have the red plume. It's a girl.
She's beautiful. It's moments like this I really understand Hagrid.
Don't look, Harry.
Crab's
Why
head
does he
doesn't-
cover his head?
Is
Probably
that,
to make sure he doesn't look anywhere.
or have it bitten off? I mean, I don't know.
Because let's be real, your instinct, you have this giant creature hovering over you, your instinct is to turn and look at it, so you know where it is. But if you're doing the tornado huddle, you can't look.
See, in this one, it's like, well, it hears you. Instead of doing the whole sniff.
They really do extend this whole fight, though. If I recall, Harry never technically leaves this part of the...
Nope. It's not much of a fight.
It
Also,
really...
the snake isn't as big.
That's the one thing, though, is she, like... Rowling was never good at climaxes. I remember reading the final book and everything and being so disappointed at how everything wrapped up. We'll have to see how my feelings have changed once we actually get to that one, because that's like the one book I never re-listened to.
Alright, and Harry's about to roll a nat 20 on his stealth check.
D&D terms.
Also, I'm sorry, that the snake should have known he was right in front of her.
Yeah.
In front of her. With her mouth open like that,
He should have been able to smell him and taste him.
To be fair, this is non-canon to the books. This whole scene. Especially since the Phoenix basically leaves Harry to his own devices for a good while.
He's like, alright, I did my duty. It's all you now, Harry.
I blinded it. You gotta finish it.
My job here is done. But you didn't do anything.
My job here is done.
We got a couple of Sailor Moon fans in the room.
Look, man, you're just jealous.
I mean, have you seen Tuxedo Mask? I would be. If I was that good looking, I'd have a lot more than just Randy going after me, that's for damn sure.
No, you'd have a very jealous wife.
No, you'd have a bunch of jealous girl bitches hanging around you is what you'd have.
They can be jealous.
Exactly.
Well, at least I know I'm not Sailor Mars in this equation. I love Brady too much.
And the hat gets pulled out rather than funky on the side. And I gotta
Which is smart, because, let's be real.
painful.
Look, man, if Sailor Mars has no haters, I'm dead.
Oh man, this sword is beautiful. I want a copy of this. I want it on my wall.
To go with all your other swords.
Yep. And then we've got. Okay, this sounds a little bit like Star Wars music right there.
Well, plot twist. John Williams was the composer, so it makes sense.
Plot twist, you take an orphan boy.
Oh boy, don't start this up.
Technically, he wasn't an orphan. Oh, well, Luke was an orphan.
No, he wasn't. His dad's still alive.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He became an orphan.
Yeah, his dad died protecting him. What a noble soul. I'm confident he didn't do anything horrible in past.
His sacrifice meant nothing, though. Palpatine came back.
We don't acknowledge those movies.
Oh my gosh. Luke got the Emperor Palpatine Lego figure out of his Lego Star Wars book. He's calling it, where's the monster guy?
That's fitting.
Where's the monster guy?
No, not the poor baby snake.
Die, bitch, die!
That's
So
like 1,000 years old.
he's still a baby.
Just a baby.
Just a baby. My dog could be on death's door and he'll still be a baby.
He's a puppy.
Exactly.
He's big puppy.
Oh,
And all cats are kitty.
that's so cool. Top is so many levels of like,
Damn it.
you killed my snake, you asshole. That was my favorite pet.
Don't worry, you'll get Nagini.
Nagini's cool, but she's not as cool as the best.
No.
He's coming for attention.
Yeah, I love you too. Oh man, it's so cool. I remember the behind the scenes thing when she drives me. Yeah, the funny thing is, I'm surprised Harry didn't try to tell the snake not to fight him, just on the off chance that freaking Voldemort was lying.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Voldemort in him, you know, depending on how much of the soul is divided up and everything. Theoretically speaking, he could have been like, I'm more Voldemort than you are. Sit. The snake just sits and he's like, good girl.
He's older.
Who knows? I mean, not that much older if we go by the age of memory himself. Do we count how long the soul's been in there? Like, do we count the 50 years? Or do we just assume because he's technically in a coma, he's the age of something else? And magic gets complicated. The poison's taking a really long time to affect
It's a
you.
really long minute.
Yeah.
Stab.
Like, Harry's, like, so emotive.
gentle. But he's also like, I would have been step.
Harry Potter the criminal. And Ginny is back up, awake, and
That was fast.
where the hell am I? Look at her face, man. She's like,
Also,
how did I show up here?
they did this backwards.
Yeah.
Because
He's supposed to get the tears first and then stab the book.
Yep. And then Ginny wakes up later.
Yeah. Harry looks so freaking high.
He's got poison coursing through his
You
system.
know, he's very cognitive for somebody who just woke up from coma.
Yep.
I mean, she wasn't in it for very long, to be fair.
I would have been a little more confused about what was going on
I
though.
mean, she had an entire year to figure things out. To be fair, though, the Phoenix is very beautiful. I love the magical creatures and stuff.
I think that they could have done a little bit better. They could have done a little more luminescent.
Something to look forward to when the TV show comes out. To see what they do with the Phoenix and everything to work with
Make her
it.
shimmer, make her shine.
Make her burn as bright as the stars in the sky.
Okay, that's a little too bright.
It's
Guys!
Hi. What do you want?
It could be brighter. Okay, that's definitely a really good line.
This is just like magic! Just like magic. Okay, it's
God. Watching them all just hanging on like this is wild. Yeah, that Phoenix is like this Phoenix can lift.
Well, yeah, and I think he uses magic to make them all lighter, though.
It wouldn't surprise me, but that's okay.
Because that's the only reason Harry was able to hang on to anybody.
Hey man, he ain't cheating. He ain't trying. He ain't cheating.
Is there? Is there any evidence?
Probably. I like that sometimes we gotta eat our words. Like him being humble and everything is such a much better judgment of what he is.
Yep.
This is supposed to take place in McGonagall's office, everyone. Thank you very much.
Also, the Weasleys are supposed to be there, and Ginny's supposed to be there, and
McGonagall.
Supposed to be there. I wish we could have gotten like the portraits and stuff, like you know, and the background. They didn't need to say anything, but some of the previous headmasters like did it or something in the background would be nice.
yeah. This is supposed to be wall-to-wall portraits.
Yeah, pretty much. Instead, it's wall-to-wall phone books.
Your cat's being such a slut, as always.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Putting all her weight on two paws.
She does make it a little difficult to breathe.
Man, it's amazing how much a 10-pound cat can weigh. She's almost 12. It's amazing how much a 12-pound cat weighs like 50 pounds.
I think she's just fine, but my wife thinks
She's fat.
no, she's not.
She's gonna hurt her arthritis.
I mean, I get that, but
She's fat. You want a big cat? Let's get a Maine Coon.
Yes, please. Ooh,
I thought you wanted to
a
say
cat.
this.
You said we can't have both. Let's get a Maine Coon and anything.
Maybe a cat can play with Conji.
I love that line. This is the one nice thing about movies is you get like all the little emotions and movements, like the hands and stuff.
Sucks. I can't go to bed. I have to go to work.
Harry, that's got Basilisk spent on it, dude. Not a great way to
Who
look
grabs
at
the
it.
sword by the blade like that?
I mean, it is possible.
Harry Potter, the idiot.
No, it is possible.
Yeah,
very careful.
but also
Yeah.
like but the way he grabs it like that is not very bright.
No, it's not, especially considering what's on the damn thing. The sword incorporates what it kills, so that thing is basically a single death touch sword if you get cut by it. Maybe you should have kept your mouth shut there, buddy.
Later.
The poor little flinch.
Also, why does he bring Dobby with him?
He was in the middle of polishing his boots
Yeah.
in the book.
Right, but here it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know. That's because they missed those little touches. And I remember the little behind-the-scenes thing where he moves Harry out of the way and he accidentally catches him with the cane. He's like, sorry, Jeff. You okay, love? And like, pets him on
2
the...
seconds.
Yeah,
It goes
like-
like evil to, oh no.
he's such a nice person, and I have to admit, it's funny, he basically ends up playing such serious, villainous roles. Though, to be honest, he does do a very good job.
Is it? Really? Do you really care about its students or the welfare of the school?
I believe him. He seems like an honorable, trustworthy sort of fellow.
He seems as trusting as a snake.
I know, and they're so trusting. I love snakes.
Snakes are suspicious.
I want to pet one.
Suspicious. Suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be
The side eye between them. They're like, you buying this bullshit? Harry's like, I ain't
No.
buying this bullshit.
You don't owe him any explanations.
No, this is all like a sly threat towards
Also-
Lucius.
The
Like,
clearing his no, saying he was like clearing his throat, licking his lips, like very obvious signs of being guilty.
I love the lighting in this scene.
Oh, man.
He's in the shadows except for like his eyes.
I
That's pretty good.
Dumbledore threats are so good. Oh, man. God, that is such a cool line. I love this scene so much in the movie. They do so many little things for this point onward and everything that just works amazing. I feel so bad. Poor Dobby. And this is where we get that cunning thinking. Puts the sword down. The way they handle this in the movie, in my personal opinion, is so much better than how they do it in the book. They completely cut out the whole Muggle Protection Act subplot.
Oh, for some reason I feel like I remember him tossing the sock off, but on this one he just hands the book to...
That's the book. And in the book, the sock is on top of the actual thing, and he tosses the sock, and Dobby catches the sock and is free. In this one, he's directly presented the sock in the actual book,
Right.
which I feel makes more sense.
Right.
Shit. That moment of realization when Harry came in here. Oh, dude, I'm totally
So yeah,
letting your ass.
if you were to have them do the laundry, you could never hand it to them. You would either have to set it down and tell them to wash it, or just have them gather it.
I love the little like ankle pull where he like pulls up his leg a little bit and he shows off his sock like sucker.
Which also means that Hermione's plan didn't make sense either.
Yeah, it really didn't. I always kind of took it as they were offended by trying to free them and everything, and that's why they didn't want to do Gryffindor Tower anymore.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that. But like, it's still her plan didn't make sense because
She's not the owner.
Up. Well, and they weren't presented with it. She hid it and had them find it.
To be fair, though, it would be weird. I would like my servants, if I had servants, to be well dressed, groomed, and clothed and everything. And it never made sense to me that they had such horrible, like, even if you couldn't give them clothes.
Oh, well,
You know.
some of them, Winky had cleaner, always wore a clean pillowcase. And all the Hogwarts house elves did wear clean clothes. Well, clean pillowcases.
I know, but I feel like something, ornament, decoration, something to show, like, I am so rich that even my servants dress better than you.
Bookman wizards were racist.
Just a smidge. Hey, there's Filch hanging out in the background with his cat. He actually looks very happy to have her back.
Well, yeah, she's his best friend. His only friend.
Actually getting to see some of the people in the background a little bit. It's a little blurry, but you can make out like Madame Pomfrey and Dumbledore at the table and everything. And you get the big hug with Harry and everything. They have way more chemistry than they're supposed to in the movies.
Why did they? This is so weird that they don't hug.
They got feelings for each other, so it's weirder for them. Sometimes it's easier to hug your brother than it is to hug your crush.
That's fair.
Hmm.
We have just enough time.
Alright, everybody gets like one good look at this Dumbledore, this version of Professor Flitwick, because he shifts over to his his conductor version after this point in the next book.
Which I dislike.
I mean, I'm kind of two minds, and one, like, Phineas looking a little bit younger and everything kind of works. Because with how old he is and being an accomplished duelist, he's made out to be much more powerful than, you know, the way the world
Plus, I
describes
think
him.
they were trying to do it to give him more distinct look than Dumbledore.
I mean, fair. On the one hand, the version in 3 and onward is much more pleasing to the eye than the current version, but the current version is a little bit more appropriate for book descriptions and stuff, if that makes sense. So on the one hand, I've got two mindsets. Like, do I want book authenticity or what is more visually appealing? This makes absolutely no sense in terms of how this should work.
I love how Ron just kind of looks up at Dumbledore with these eyes and say, "I'm sorry." And Dumbledore's like, "It's fine."
I love it, but at the same time, it's not lore accurate. Smug look on her eyes. No Hogwarts without you. The whole school is just so
Also,
excited to have
no,
you
he
back.
wouldn't have been. Because Ginny still got taken after he left.
I know, but this is such a heartwarming scene, and I know for a fact it was being tossed around when he ended up passing on and everything.
I know.
Like, the school is so much more excited to have their guy back, basically. Whereas I think in the book and everything, there was, you know, a mild celebration with some of the Gryffindor house and everything. That was about the extent of it. Because I know that he gets crapped on quite a bit from, like, the other houses, not just Slytherin.
Yeah. Which is shitty.
Yeah. But to be honest, they don't, like, I don't...
You know,
Hagrid
even some of
doesn't...
the Slytherins were cheering there.
Just a smidge. If I recall correctly, Malfoy ends up pulling one of... Yeah,
Literally as you speak.
Yeah, pretty much. It's one of those things where it's like, it's a really heartwarming scene and everything, but it seems kind of wild that he's so well loved by the students. Because I always kind of felt like he was really close to the Golden Trio, mainly because of Harry.
I mean, he's close with Ginny. They mentioned it a bunch later in the books, and in this book they meant, at least in the book,
Yeah,
they
they
mentioned that she came around a lot.
I don't think she'd necessarily mind having an autograph either. Wink. But nah.
Matchmaker in the process.
Huh? They do not mention who wins the House Cup anymore after the first movie, I guess.
No, at the end of the book though they mention it, that like the Great Halls and Gryffindor colors,
And
I believe.
I don't think we get like the end scene or anything with them getting back on the train or anything. So they do clip quite a bit off of the end. Hagrid comes back and end scene.
Still, because there's still enough of the term left.
Yeah.
So maybe they don't mention.
Okay, we have just hit credits basically at that point. Our friend Kimmy has to be going and everything. So.
I have a few minutes left.
Alright, you're sure. So what do we think of the second movie?
I still think that it's one of the good ones because it keeps pretty close
Yeah.
to the books.
Oh, I agree.
Like, it's the last time that it's like that close.
To be honest, though, the books start getting longer and longer and everything, and so they have to start snipping more and more. And they already had to cut quite a few things out of this as it is.
Yeah, but it still stays pretty close. There's not a whole lot that we miss.
No. There's some fun things that get trimmed down and stuff along those lines, which is kind of disappointing in the grand scheme of things. But I'm not going to complain too hard.
I still miss having peeves.
Oh, these are yours?
Yeah.
I thought they were my kids.
They were wet.
I was going to go toss them in the freaking laundry.
Don't worry, I stopped him.
We miss Peeves going, oh, Potter, you watcher, you think it's good fun?
Oh, yeah.
That was... to be honest, they have made mention that Peeves is going to be in the TV show, which is...
Better fucking be.
Considering how entertaining he actually is and stuff, I love how, like, year one, he's a real menace. Year 6, mild inconvenience.
Yep.
I mean, there's more important things going on than him being a menace.
To be fair, like some of the
He
things
peaks in book 5, though. Book 5 is when he's an absolute menace.
Oh man, they're like, especially considering McGonagall's like whole thing, it unscrews the other way towards him. He's trying to undo a chandelier, basically. I'm just sort of like,
Hey, he swore he could hear McGonagall mutter that.
yeah. To be perfectly honest, I would have loved to have seen Maggie Smith actually letting her hair down a little bit more often.
That would have been great.
Especially in the movies. Oh my god. So many missed opportunities.
I agree.
Overall, who do you think like stole the show actor-wise? Like, you know,
Gilderoy.
easily.
Yeah.
I really wish they could have added more of his scenes from the books into this movie. And
Hate
everything.
character, but damn, Kenneth Branagh did a great job.
Easily.
He really did.
Honestly, I don't really think there was any bad like actors or anything along those lines. Nobody was like what I would consider subpar. They did
Very minimal Snape, though. I meant to say it in the book, too. Snape was not very present in this one.
Well, he wasn't our red herring.
Fair.
And to be perfectly honest, it's not like there's a whole lot for him to actually do and stuff in the actual like movie, like the whole thing. He's basically just a grumpy teacher for a good chunk of the series. He doesn't start becoming a serious problem until the next book, and that's only because he's got beef with like the person with Lupin. And then he kind of dissipates a little bit until like the Dark Mark thing starts popping back up in year 4. But even then, he's not like super relevant. He's more there to be bullied by Mad-Eye Moody more than anything else.
Who is?
Snape.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, in the third book, he's very... Well, he's present at the end, that's for sure.
I mean, fair.
Plus, we get the whole backstory of, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because 2 of his sworn enemies come back.
Technically 3. I mean, I don't think he's got much of a beef with Pete, but
Nothing
still.
was ever said about him having an issue with Peter Pettigrew.
Peter was just there.
To be fair, I always got the impression that Lupin was just there as well. Because he wasn't exactly running, like, but in the movies, he's like, all 4 of them are portrayed as, like, antagonizing him, whereas in the book, it's more of Sirius and James who are antagonizing him, and Lupin's turning a blind eye, and Peter's just there as an audience member.
I just realized, in book 6, when Peter is living with Snape, but at that point Snape knows that Peter turned traitor and got Lily killed, like, how much does Snape just want to kill him? Is that why he's such a dick to him?
I mean, I believe it. if nothing else, at the very least, his friend would still technically be alive if Peter kept his bloody freaking mouth
Be the
shut.
love of his life.
I mean, it's definitely one-sided.
Still the love of his life.
I always thought the love of Snape's life was Snape for the longest period of time.
That's fair.
I mean,
He wasn't in love with Lily enough to give up being a Dark Wizard, so...
True.
Just saying. He couldn't have been that strong.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if the love of my life was like, hey, I'm gonna stop hanging out with you if you're gonna
Continue.
continue being, like, evil like this, I'd be like, shit, my bad.
Adorable.
Anyway. I'm really looking forward to the show.
yeah.
Have you heard new news? Or
Nope.
Just...
I'm just looking forward to it. I'm hoping that it's gonna be... I need it to blow me out of the water. These movies were so good, and these movies still hold up against the test of time.
Which is nice.
It's nice because it's like... The CGI is minimal to a point, but it also they made sure it looked good. Like, some things you can... No hating on Star Wars, but, like, the CGI does not withstand the test of time. Look, man, when that Rancor is fucking...
That was practical effect. The original trilogy did not have CGI at its fingertips. CGI was the hardcore thing for like the prequels, and the only thing they were able to do was do serious touch-ups and add scenes for like some of the movies based off the special.
Well, some of the effects that they had, now some of the because some of it is very much you could see the cutouts and everything of like because it wasn't or the effects were added later. The special effects don't stand the test of time. They look very rough.
We're not going to agree on this. Fair enough.
We'll argue about Star Wars another day. We'll stay on Harry Potter.
I mean, if you want, we could always do a watch through and everything. I've got no problems breaking out Star Wars.
No, I'm good.
All right.
It's one of the things that
like CGI, even like in the early '90s, was horribly obvious. Have you ever watched the cartoon for Reboot and everything?
No.
That was CGI at a TV scale, at the very least in the '90s, and it's ugly.
I think
Going back even further, it would be even worse.
All I mean is that, like, in the scene with the Rancor, one of the scenes, like, where it gets crushed, it's very much you can tell that it's not there. It's got a distinct outline, and you know it's not there. Like, it's very glaring in my face.
They're not Ray Harryhausen. They're not going to be absolutely flawless.
No,
and some of the special effects they used in Star Wars were so cutting edge for their time. They created an entire separate organization and company called Lucas Arts.
I know. I'm just saying that it's one of the things that, like, Harry Potter, the way, what I mean is that it's not as in-your-face obvious about things. It stands up.
Well, yeah, relatively speaking.
Sure,
the first movie was really rough, though. There's quite a few scenes where you can see that the Harry or the Neville in the scene is clearly CGI'd. Especially during the troll attack and the Quidditch match.
And when Neville falls off the castle.
Like when he's bouncing around, basically, it's noticeably obvious.
Yeah.
And this one,
it stands up a bit more.
I feel like they weren't as like bouncy in this one, where it's like the first movie and stuff. It's almost cartoonish in terms of how wild it can get. Whereas in this one, it's a little bit more down to earth, and I feel like that helped with any of the CGI they would have necessarily needed. It's not like Lucius is taking Dobby and just flinging him around like a freaking ragdoll or something along those lines. He's just kicking him or hitting him on occasion, which makes it a little bit easier for the CGI artists that they don't have to put so much work into it. Anyway, I kind of running out of things to really talk about and everything.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess if you want to see more of my content, you can find me on TikTok is back. So you can find me on TikTok and other social media under Luna's Creation Corner.
I refuse to return. I'm not going back.
Because you don't want to be disappointed if it goes away again?
No, it's not because of that.
It's-
I don't like the comment that they had when they said that they were potentially going to be able to come back and everything, and I was just sort of like, yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
It was 4 years ago, the person who was directly responsible for getting it banned and stuff along those lines is now apparently going to be credited as its savior and everything, and I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, no. I don't.
Thanks, Obama, for bringing it back. That's what TikTok says. TikTok
Now?
is... Oh, most creators on TikTok are thanking Obama.
Oh, that's fine. I have no problems, but it's not the creators.
I know what you mean.
But yeah.
But
I mean,
anyway.
feel free if it's your thing and stuff along those lines. I'm just not. I don't plan on going back. Not that I had much of a presence on TikTok to begin with.
She had to dip for a minute, but you can find Brandy with her Stitch content at FlossTube.
Brandy.
Brandy Wine.
Stitches,
yes.
Yep.
And for her candle creations at Hockeytown Candle Co.
You can find me at Twitch at Cole Sanders, COAL Sanders, and I'm still playing the exact same game I've been playing for a while because it's an RPG and I'm taking a lot longer than I originally intended. So that's where all of our stuff is and where you can find us. So if you'd be so kind as to keep your wands at the ready, like, subscribe, and come back here where we get to do our What If episode next week. Bye!